Hello, welcome in everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Hunt to Killer's Mallory Rock. We're going to be kicking that off today. So, of course, myself, Strange Tangents, joined by my lovely wife, Red Panda. So, we're going to dig through episode 3 today to kind of catch up a little bit. We've got, episode 1, we were trying to determine that it was not an accident and that it was indeed murder. So we were able to determine that fact and prove that Beth was murdered and that she didn't just fall off a cliff. And then after that, we were able to, on episode 2, determine where her body was dumped from. And further prove that she didn't just fall off the cliff, that she actually, came from a different location on the island, and her body floated around and landed at that north end of the island. Now on to episode 3. I assume we're going to be just kind of narrowing down suspects is what I have a feeling we're going to be doing. So let's get over to, first we're going to flip over to full screen. We've got the box right here. There you go. And welcome in everyone as well. Thank you to everybody that has come in. Also, while we got this up, if you would like to follow along with any of the stuff that we've got going on, then what we need is just to go over to Discord. Just log into that Discord and you'll be able to follow along with several of the items that that we have in the Discord. So, all right. It'll be under the Hunt a Killer section of the Discord. There we go. All right, so we've got our inventory card. There you go. Jazzy, welcome in. All right, so we've got a few items here. All right. So we've got a couple items here. Looks like a business card. I don't know what that is.
A crystal or something.
Some kind of crystal, maybe. Okay. And then we've got a ink pen from just Mallory Rock. So just standard ink pen. And here is the business card. If I can get that to on it. And it looks like it turns on. So let's. There you go. Lights up. Close some green. So this is a business card for JW Enterprises Real Estate Investment from Mr. Jordan Woodard, CEO and president. That. All right. And then let's see. So yeah, so I don't know. I'm guessing it's just a standard ink pen.
Word pen.
Yeah. So I don't think we need to take that apart and find any hidden messages. Right? That is a very fancy business card. It really is. All right, so we've got a few documents here. We'll get all this pulled up on the screen here in a moment. Again, in the Discord, I already have copies of almost all of this in the Discord for you already. So you'll be able to download those documents and follow along on your own computer or phone if you would like. So it looks like we've got, so obviously the letter from Gwen. We've got, looks like a flyer about the Monday night launch for the Lighthouse Festival. And then got, I think this was the newsletter, the town council newsletter. Got the meeting minutes from the town council. Looks like a receipt, a doodle, and a newspaper clipping. So that's what we've got to work with on episode 3. All right. Did you want to
Yeah.
go over and we'll pull this up the letter here.
We'll be starting off the letter that Gwen has written us for this third box. Detective. So I've been gathering info on our suspects. The more I learn about them, the bigger the island feels. And I hate it. And I'm not any closer to finding out who murdered Beth. Martin's as friendly as ever, and Jody is still snippy with me. I can't tell if they're just being normal or if their stories from that night are orchestrated. And I swear, Reverend Reaver is actively avoiding me. Reverends are supposed to help people in need, right? Well, here I am in need, but every time I go to his office, he says he's busy. I looked into Jordan a bit, especially after reading that sketchy email between him and Beth. That that event he posted on Good Fences did happen that night, but he left the last bastion early. I talked to Dante, the bartender. Dante did my math homework in all of junior year. Sweet guy. And he was pissed. He said Jordan left without paying his tab and left his business card instead of a credit card. Maybe it's just classic slimeball behavior, but I'm putting a link to Jordan's website and a Good Fences Digest email on our desktop in case you can learn anything else from them. Speaking of slime, Joey is still the worst, and he keeps making excuses whenever I ask about Sam. As for Sam, well, I finally went into town hall to pack up Beth's office there, and Sam was sitting in Beth's chair with her bare, dirty feet up on the desk all over Beth's stuff. Seriously, who does that? Speaking, so I kicked her out of the office, slammed the door in her face, and then I just lost it. These people are being so horrible. I was ready to stop. I was ready to quit. Then I found it, and I know what I need to do. Shoved in the bottom of one of Beth's drawers, I found a packet of papers clipped together. A bunch of documents related to the town council, but the weird note caught my eye. What I can make out reads as instructions to break into the Navigator's Club room. I have no idea why Beth had these papers. Was she looking into the Navigator's Club? And if so, who was helping her? Was it one of our suspects? I know my sister, and Beth wasn't a rule breaker. In third grade, she had a meltdown over returning a library book too late. She must have known something was seriously wrong if she was planning a break-in. I need to know what she knew, who she was communicating with, and I think the way to find this out is to follow this thread. I'm going to break into the Navigators Club, and I need your help. I know it's risky, and Sully would have a fit if he knew. But I have to do this. I have to do something. You're the only person helping me, and I'm tired of being on this island while everybody else is living their normal lives, trying to find the truth. I remember my dad saying the Navigator Club keeps a spare key building outside. Our first step is finding where the key is. We can figure out the rest as we go. The password to the desktop is still Porter, but this time the case file is High Tide. When you think you have the location of the building key, shoot me a quick message under the contact button on the desktop server with the subject key location. Tell me exactly where you think it's hidden, like in a flower pot or under a mat. I've already checked those places, so zilch. I'll be ready, Gwen. Also sending you Sam's healing crystal that she left on Beth's desk. I think it's kind of pretty, but I can't look at it without getting angry. Thought you might like it. I don't need it. Oh, so that's what it is. It's Sam's crystal.
Okay, so it's Sam's healing crystal. Okay. So this is Sam's healing crystal. If I can get it on camera. Kimberly, welcome in. All right. So it sounds like I was a little bit wrong. So we've got our objective tonight is actually going to be, it looks like, trying to locate a key so that we can try to get more into the, or be able to get into the Navigators Club building, or at least for Gwen to be able to get into that building. And then be able to see kind of what there is. Oh, it's all good, Kimberly. So we literally just got started. We went over a recap of episode 1, episode 2, what our findings were. And then also that in the Discord, I've already uploaded majority of the documents into Discord. So if there's anything that you want to see more close up, you're more than welcome. Hop in the Discord and take a look. All right, so we just got our objectives. Our objective is to find this key. So we've got a few things that we've got to look at that we can try to look at anyway. So let's see what we've got. We've got this this doodle as well.
The doodle.
Yeah. So this is the doodle. You're seeing it up on the screen. Let me get this over.
Who did this doodle? She didn't, right?
I don't think she did. I'm not sure where. Yeah, I didn't hear you say anything about like where it came.
Packet of
Yeah, she just found the packet. So yeah, so that's the doodle. We got that there. Everything's already downloaded. All right. So I think that's gonna be. It looks very interesting. We got some items here. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. We got this here, like what I guess what the sun is. Got some kind of clock with some keys. Looking at the different symbols here. Yeah, one of them's yeah, so I think it's the zodiacs.
There's 13. Is there 13 zodiacs?
Yeah,
wait,
there is.
Wait, didn't they have a? Where was that horoscopes thing?
It's weird because the numbers on here correspond to 12. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is where it's doubled right there on the bottom.
Where?
Oh, there's an optional 13th. That's right.
That's
There
right.
was. There was
Like
an
a
optional
horoscope
13th
we're
on the
talking
horoscope.
about, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Good
just
call,
clicked.
Kimberly. Good call.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. So there you go.
Exactly
So, yep. So the looks like it's this one right down here on this bottom left corner is that optional. So the bonus zodiac from November 20th through December 17th. Yeah. Go accommodate. All right. Have a great night. I hope your work stuff and everything's going well. All right. We've got that. And it looks like, yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting image though overall.
I'm laughing because the fish are dead and upside down.
Yeah,
They're
well, that's
actually upside
because
down.
of all the. It looks like some kind of sewage and stuff
Yep.
getting pumped in. Kind of person discovering Mallory Rock maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's definitely Virgo. Yeah, right next to it. Yeah, it definitely looks like they're all in order. Huh?
What's
The zodiacs.
ah?
Okay, accommodate. Sounds good. All right, and then it looks like somebody, like they got somebody, some kind of prisoner locked up with a key.
Well, one thing I'm already noticing is the keys inside of the clocky thing. They all have different key parts on it.
Okay.
So the one that's matching the one the person's holding,
Right, Buddha on a rocket ship.
like the 1 o'clock section.
Yeah,
That
so that
3.1.
one.
Yeah,
okay.
that's the one that matches the little tiny guy on the boat under the sail.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's a good observation. So what? So it looks like, yeah, right here. So this is what Red Panda's talking about. Is this key right there? If you look, it has 3 like tines or 3 teeth on the key. It looks like that matches this key right here, as well. And so maybe that's a correlation. He's got a key to a lock. Maybe that's the key we need to be looking at, for this symbol here. But yeah. I don't know. So we'll figure out. We'll see if this gets us any or helps us. We'll keep this in mind for as we're looking at some of this other stuff as well. Okay. Looks like Mallory monuments. So there's some stuff about Mallory monuments, about Edgar's anchor statue, the Anchor Street mailbox, the Ferris fountain, the swinging tree. and the Navigator Sundial. So,
A sundial I read about in the book.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in that Navigator
So
Sundial
it's
book.
yeah, it's a new addition to Mallory Rock Monuments. The sundial pays homage to both the original founding crew of Edgar Mallory's colonial party and the Mallory Rockites, who were tragically lost in the bridge collapse. The sundial is located in Sailors Memorial Park. Yeah. Let me pull that up real quick.
Addition of a large sundial, a
There it
nod
is.
to the club's nautical origins, is
Okay.
nod to the club's.
This is what we're looking at here. So we've got the Navigator Sundial. A little bit more about each of the monuments they have on the island. Got Edgar's anchor statue, so it pays homage to the ship Edgar Mallory originally sailed to America. Crafted in 1964, the statue is a close likeness to the ship's real anchor and actually weighs the exact same amount. Edgar's anchor rests on the easternmost point of the island near the lighthouse. Anchor Street mailbox. When Anchor Street was extended in 1918, residential houses were demolished to make more room. Fortunately, the construction missed the mailbox for one single house, which has been repainted several times since. Today, the Anchor Street mailbox is always adorned with fresh flowers and collects letters from locals and tourists alike. Swinging Tree was a popular hangout spot for the Mallory Rock youths until 1987, when a young boy swung off the tree and cracked his skull. He survived, but the town council then banned playing on this particular Mallory Rock treasure. The tree remains the largest tree on the island, perched on the southern coast. And Ferris Fountain. So, as you might have guessed, the Ferris Fountain was built by the Ferris family. One of our esteemed Navigator families, Navigator Alicia Ferris, was well known for his charitable heart, and in 1966, his descendants funded a fountain in his name, located in Forest Park every year. Money tossed into the fountain is collected and donated to a charity of the Ferris family's church. All right. That was the one side of that newsletter. It looks like we have another side to the newsletter as well. This is Navigator's Corner, a bump in the road. Would you like to read that one?
Sure.
Okay.
Ahoy there, Rockites. As many of you remember, my father, George Ballantyne,
Oh, that's the seventh.
Roman numeral.
Seventh.
Thank you. Seventh. Don't do Roman numerals, sorry. Used to say that the Navigators are a symbol of hope and longevity. We're the pathfinders guiding the island through life, just as the lighthouse guides our ships. His words painted a mental picture that sticks with me to this day, and I've passed them on to my son in the hopes that he'll pass them on to his sons in turn. Despite the tragedies we've experienced in recent years, the island can trust in its navigators to steer towards a brighter future. We all want Mallory Rock to outlast us. I know many of my fellow Rockites think the way to ensure that future is through environment sustainability, and for that I commend them. You may have seen in the paper this week that the town council had to delay the renovations of the Rutherford wastewater treatment plant. I have taken time to personally hear out the concerns about the delay, and I understand them. However, rest assured that the vote to delay was not decided on a whim. My friends and family know well that the sustainability and health of Mallory Rock's environment is near and dear to my heart. In fact, I remember mulling over the exact question of the renovations with one of my fellow navigators in January last year, long before it was even introduced to the town council. I was sitting at a booth table at the Oyster Bucket, and across from me and my whiskey sour were Martin Hendricks and his lovely wife, Jody. We were chatting about sustainability over steaming lobster rolls. I distinctly remember being asked, Marty, how can we make sure this renovation won't hurt the island's natural habitat? And he replied, well, if it does, we won't do it. And that's all there was to it. As you pioneers, we navigators want more than anything. As your pioneers, we navigators want more than anyone to instill sustainable practices on our island. And I'm personally willing to champion this cause and to make sure any proposal changes are truly healthy and will outlive us. We have to take a long, hard look at whether they're making a positive change in our community. So be at ease. If the renovations are for the betterment of Mallory Rock, they will happen. This is just a bump in the road, not a dead end. Chris.
Okay. So I picked up on something specific there.
Chris is the younger brother who was the harbor master. It comes from a long line of fishermen.
Okay. So you talk about the wastewater treatment plant, all that stuff. So back to that doodle. Look at that doodle. Wastewater.
Oh.
That's what that hose is. It's the wastewater, killing all the fish and everything in the ocean. So that must be part of that drawing there, is that wastewater.
I think I have another dot to connect. In Martin's and Jody's alibis, both mentioned briefly that Beth showed up and was in a tizzy or something of that effect, and was upset about something town council related, about something that was taking a lot longer than it should have. I'm wondering if that's what this is.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah, but it was something that Beth was fighting for. And it got delayed.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. So we've got also we see we got the Lighthouse Festival Monday night launch. So we've got that. So come help launch this year's Lighthouse Festival with music, food, and dancing in the town square. Opening remarks by Navigator Martin Hendricks. Music DJ'd by Ed Gundy. And as always, an hour-long sky full of fireworks. Now then. So there's the... but on the backside, whole bunch of writing on the backside of this. So in the Discord, I've got this up as well, so you can download it, be able to read it. We're seeing the hieroglyphs, or not the hieroglyphs, with the zodiacs on them. So that's what those are. That's the zodiacs from the doodle. Got hey kiddo, I don't regret walking out on those bastards, but this is as much as I can put in writing if you're trying to, whatever that is, club room. All right, it's blank to get in. First, you need the key to the building. Blank is hidden blank. After that, think like blank. What's the one blank that they all care about? Once you're in, get on the computer and check the program. Secure to delete blank. Blank and blank. So they can't pin you. They'll give you a prompt. Can't help you with this one. It changes as often as the blank. Make a reminder for yourself in a way you can understand, but others can't. Otherwise, I know you'll forget. Hide this paper. Good luck. Blank. All right, so somebody's trying to help her out with getting into. Must be trying to get into where we're trying to get into, right? Yeah, easy peasy. So some of these have a 2. Some of them don't. I don't see any other numbers with them. They either... You figured out the codex already? All right, so what do you think is the... Like, what do you think the code... Like, what correlates to what letter? I mean, it's tied back to this doodle, right?
I think there's something about it right here. Very suspicious. Symbol substitution.
Symbol substitution cipher. Yeah.
It uses symbols to represent different letters. The most common version of the cipher, the one-to-one relationship, where one letter is represented by.
Right.
To solve this setter, look for short sections of the 1 to 3. So maybe that bottom one, because there's 3 symbols there.
Right.
And it says trial and error, plugging in common words. The first thing I thought of is what were the starting letters of all the signs.
That's what Kimberly was thinking.
Oh. I love that we're on the same page. It's so fun.
So, so yeah, Kimberly was thinking the first letter of the zodiac, but maybe the 2 is corresponding to the second letter of the zodiac instead.
Could be. All I know is that 6-9 isn't that Cancer.
So.
Cancer. Oh my god, I'm embarrassed.
All right. So yeah. So
something C.
the chat. This is in the Discord. So if you think that you might want to try to help us out and writing down what each one of these words means, feel free, look at that and, help us work on solving that a little bit. If you want to work on that some, that I can kind of go through a little bit more of what we have.
We can. I'm not sure if that's it or not, because CAC I don't recognize.
Okay.
And that would be I think that middle symbol, it looks like fish with a crease, but I'm not 100% on that.
Let me look. Yeah, that would be that, yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me try a different one, because that one didn't seem to, if it is somebody, I'm just not sure who CAC would be.
You don't recognize that as initials for anything?
Okay. No, and I've been through those names a lot.
Yeah.
Let me know, Kimberly, if you recognize the initials or something. Or
yeah, if anyone in chat has something that they think that it might be, then let us know. That'll help us out. So this is going to be a key. Yeah, I can already tell it's going to be a key component in trying to solve this episode 3. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to keep going for the moment,
that works. So we also have bar tab as well. Last Bastion Cuisine and Bar from Mallory Rock, and then it looks like a dine in. So they had a total of about 35 or about $40 after tax. But it says that it looks like it says JW skipped out on tab again. Do not serve until he pays. Watch for when he gets a call and steps outside. So, I mean, is J-Dub having a financial crisis right now? I mean, that he's skipping out on tabs multiple times. This might also help us with an alibi. I don't, because it says that it says 8:43 p.m.
Is that when he left, supposedly?
Well, so the receipt was printed at 8:43.
Okay.
They wrote on here that he skipped it out. Okay, so your idea didn't work for the first one. Okay.
I do know for him, he was still posting stuff to Beth, kind of in a taunting way, at 8 or later, because in the good fences stuff, he was posting stuff to her, trying to antagonize her.
Well, looks like, so I mean, looks like he's sitting, or that he was there at the last Bastion.
8:30. I'm still here just in case your schedule's freed up.
Yeah.
What time did that say?
Yep. That's at 8:43 p.m. So that matches up.
Okay, that does match up. Yeah.
So, and what time did we say what time did we narrow her death down to?
9:10 or after. She texted her or posted on Good Fences to her daughter at 9:10. At 10:43 or 10:30.
Okay.
I think it's 10:34.
Yeah, 9:10. So it was after 9:10. I think it was between 9:10 and 10:13 or something like that. So we got it down to an hour, right?
I think 10:43 was when her watch stopped, and we went a half an hour before her watch stopped.
Yeah.
Roughly. That's memory. Yep. That's not there. He's back.
Yeah, I think it was about 10:13. Well, so no. He had from the Good Fences posts, he was throwing like some kind of business get together thing, and he commented on the post saying that he was still there waiting for her if she wanted to come by, because he sent out like a personal invite to her, basically because he kept posting stuff that she kept that she kept basically removing, saying that it don't advertise business on the page, that sort of thing. What's up?
I don't know. I'm thinking about that wheel, but I don't think how it correlates. Not everyone's going to have the wheel.
Right.
My brain's punching. He doesn't let me see any of this ahead of time. I have to do it.
Yeah,
with you
just so
guys.
you know, chat. Yeah, she doesn't see any of this until we open it right here on stream. I know her way too well, and if I let her see even a little bit of it, she's gonna immediately start trying to solve it, and so I hide all of it from her until we open it up on stream.
Yep. He knows me too well. My brain gets started a mile a minute.
So.
Is Kimberly coming up with anything else yet? Because I'm still a little stumped at the moment.
All right, so we've got right?
Unless me. Perfect. If it was the first letter of the horoscope for the most recent. I'm gonna play with this for a second. I'm stumped at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I mean that doodle I feel like has something to do with it.
Oh, absolutely. I just can't figure out if it's clock related or what, because there's numbers. So like 3,
Yeah.
12, 6.
Well, that's the the clock.
So that's where I was like in my head thinking, is that like a
12,
grouping of
3, 6, and 9?
Because you remember like that stage cipher and how it had the keypad pieces where it was like one of 3 or 4 letters.
Yeah.
I was like trying to break that down into the same idea, just randomly, but I'm trying to figure out how that would compute because not everyone would have that information.
True. Well, let's look at
Going for
so.
now?
Huh?
Going for now?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna keep looking at that, or I can go through at least go through the news article piece.
I'm kind of listening as you keep going.
All right, so council, we heard about this in that other newsletter. So council announces delay for sewage treatment plant renovation. The plans to renovate the Rutherford wastewater treatment plant. All right, so make sure there's nothing like hidden. All right. The plans to renovate the Rutherford water treatment plant have been delayed due to budget constraints, the Mallory Rock Town Council announced last Friday. Renovations of Mallory Rock's sole sewage treatment plant have been in discussion since August of last year. The renovations would not affect Mallory Rock's usage of water, but would significantly lessen the amount of pollution discharged into surrounding waters. This issue was first raised by the Mallory Rock Society for Environmental Sustainability and Protection, SESP, which has since been continually advocating for renovations. The Rutherford plant cannot be a second priority. It cannot be a third priority. It has to happen now, and it has to happen quickly, said Harper Jones, president of the CESP. We are destroying the same wildlife habitats that we depend on to live. Facility manager Bradford Rutherford defers to the city's decisions. I do think we have to address the pollution at some point, but I trust the navigators and the counselors to take care of this, said Rutherford. They've always served us well, and there are more factors at play than just money. The actual logistics of a renovation are nothing to sneeze at. The inspection said the land we're on might not even be able to handle major redos due to excessive karst. The town council has not given further detail into the budget constraints that resulted in the delay, nor has it provided a date the renovations are expected to be considered again. Also other news, be sure, chat, make sure you visit Tony's Pizza Shop. They love our, we love our pizza. So down at Mallory Rock, Tony's Pizza Shop. There you go. All right, Mallory Rock Gazette, I think. Remembering those lost 1 year later. All right, so Emery Smithson walks along the boardwalk to Wooders Strand, where Mallory Rock is closest to the mainland. She lays down a bouquet of white lilies and spends a few minutes with her head bowed in prayer, just as she has every Sunday for the last year. Every Sunday since the terrible accident that took her husband from her. It has been exactly 1 year since the collapse of Woodard Strand, left 7 dead and 5 injured. The bridge, a joint project between the Mallory Rock Town Council and the state of Maine, was designed to connect our island to the mainland, with the hopes of an economic boost. In early stages of construction, the bridge anchorage was placed atop the cliff chosen for the project, which could not hold the weight of the anchorage. The rock face crumbled and the anchorage slid, crushing the workers below. It still feels unreal to me, Smithson said. Like one day I'll wake up and he'll be there, but I know that day won't come. Vincent and her 4-year-old son, Luther, aren't the only ones who are still in mourning. The memory of the bridge collapse has hung over Mallory Rock like fog after an ocean storm. Mallory Rock folk are a hardy bunch. We're used to toughing it out on this island, for sure, but this year has been tougher than any of the 55 years I've been here. Still, you won't find any Maine brain among us who were on site, said Pete Longley. Longley, a construction worker for the Hendricks group, was injured in the accident. After 1 year, he's regained full physical health, but not all are so lucky. Josiah Joey Hendricks, son of well-known town councilor Hendricks Group CEO and navigator Martin Hendricks, was the on-site foreman at the time of the collapse. All right, so Joey, so Joey Hendricks was the foreman when the collapse happened and killed all these workers.
Oh, well, that makes sense on why he may not be having the best of times. He may be so distressed and not sleeping
Right.
well
So
at
yeah,
night,
that
all
letter
stuff
from
that
his
yeah.
from Joey's mom to
Yeah.
Beth, talking about you have to understand
what
he's dealing with and what he's been through.
Yeah, that does
Okay,
make more sense.
so that's
in
all clicking now.
context.
That's
Yeah.
all clicking. All
So I
right.
kept thinking he was maybe like getting through a drug addiction or
Yeah.
something. Like that's all I could think of. So that makes a lot of sense. And that
So
Sam said something about that too. She said something about I didn't know if you were back to work yet
oh yep.
when she wrote her letter to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the accident, Joey Hendricks' left leg was crushed under rubble, an accident that still affects him to this day. No one has felt the tragedy of the collapse more than the Hendricks family. It hasn't been easy, no. And it won't be easy for a long time, said Jody Hendricks, Joey's mother, or Jody Hendricks, which is Joey's mother. I try to focus on healing. This isn't well known, but Edgar Mallory's favorite saying in times of trouble was, through hardship to the stars. I try to remember that when I think of those we lost. Mallory's words are an important reminder for all of us on the island. When we remember those who are no longer with us, we'll remember them for who they were. Our friends, family, and above all, true blue Mallory Rockites that persevered through adversity. Those boys died trying to make Mallory Rock a better place for their kids, said local ferryman Benny Howard. Might not have been the right way to go about it, but their hearts were in it. I'll always remember that. Mallory Rock will too. The Navigators Club has donated money to the town council to build a memorial sundial, which has been newly erected in Sailors Memorial Park. On it, the names of continued on A4, and we do not have the rest of that. So I'm guessing, it's the names of those that we lost, right? So, or the names of those that they lost. Since, it is in memory of that bridge collapse as well. Okay. So we've got that going, and now we also have the town council meeting minutes and transcripts. So this is a lot of reading. This is also in the Discord. If you'd like to download that, feel free to download it. Go ahead and read through that as well. How you doing on that cipher over there?
Still crunching my brain.
Does anyone have any further ideas on that
At first
cipher
I
yet?
thought maybe Clubroom was responding to the word straight above it. Letters, they're not the correct amount.
Right.
And so then I was thinking maybe the letters are corresponding.
Hold
to
on a
the
second. Hold
numbers.
on. Club room. Nope, never mind. That didn't match. I was thinking maybe Last Bastion Club Room, but that didn't match.
Yeah. Okay.
That didn't match at all. Last is only 4
Yeah,
letters and there's 5 characters.
This one's giving me some humbleness. I
Right?
really like it.
Yeah. And with you over there, it may not pick you up if you're talking that.
Oh,
just
okay,
so you know.
thank you.
All right, so we've got All right, so those that were present at this meeting, it looks like town manager, town clerk, harbor master, all the council or a bunch of the counselors, secretary, and there is the guest Reverend Clarence Reaver also in attendance. There you go. Hard at work back there trying to get that cipher. Man, I mean that's just tough. That one's tough. All right. So their agenda is going to be to confirm a budget adjustment for the Recreation and Parks Department, revisit the discussion for issue, which is Rutherford wastewater treatment plant renovations, vote on the issue, and listen to the issue Cora Reaver Memorial Scholarship raised by a guest. The regular meeting of the Mallory Rock Town Council was called to order 5:31 p.m. At the Edgar Mallory City Hall. Audio recording conducted by Samantha Gundy. Transcription performed by Samantha Gundy. Recording begins at 6:03 p.m. All right, so SG. Okay, now SB, is it on now? Yes, it's recording. Go. Okay, so that's Samantha Gundy. Who would SB?
Steve Valentine.
Steve Valentine. Okay.
So that'd be the brother to.
Okay.
Which one was the one that?
Oh wait, hold on. I can just look up here at the top. Yeah, Stephen Valentine, counselor.
Yeah.
All right. So Stephen Valentine. Yeah. Please let the record show that Secretary Samantha Gundy was late to the called meeting for the third time this month. Samantha Gundy, just go around and give a summary of what I missed. And Stephen getting upset. Calling Amandine Noga, who is the town manager, saying we can't keep letting this go. Christopher Valentine calls out like father, like daughter, eh? All right. Town council or town manager, we're not going to waste any more time on this. Final thoughts on the renovations before we vote. Yes, our budget just doesn't have the space currently to start the renovation. I'd love to see them get it done. I just don't see a way for it now. Somebody said something inaudible. Bethy, go ahead. I'm actually aware of our budget limitations. This is Beth. So this meeting happened before her death.
Oh.
So she's in attendance. Beth Ferris-Hendricks is in attendance. So I'm actually aware of our budget limitations. CB, that's our numbers girl for you. But I'm worried that this would be the second time we postponed this, and wastewater filtration has lasting consequences that we make worse every day we wait. JS is Jennifer Sirocco, who's the town clerk. Agreed. There's and then got interrupted. That's a solid point. We want to take care of our home, and it won't be a good look for the council if we seem to be slacking on that. That's true. Sorry, Jen, I cut you off. Oh, no, that's all right. I was just going to reiterate what Beth said. Still, part of taking care of Mallory Rock is making sure we're not letting other things slip in the meantime. And I do see your point, but like Chris said, there's a hard line. There's just no money for it. We want to make sure we do this right. So it seems like certain people's idea of doing things right is just not doing them at all. Why don't you stick to taking notes and lead the discussion to the people with votes? Hey, now, let's stay on track. If we delay now, we might be able to use the next quarter to try and cut down on the costs. Martin, do you have ideas on how we could do that? Do you know anyone? I'll put out feelers, certainly. Okay, great. Thank you. We should definitely look do that, but we still have to vote. You're right. I jumped the gun a bit there. Marty's always been a man of action. Any last points? No. Then all in favor of beginning renovations as scheduled. Beth Ferris-Hendricks, town manager Noga, and the clerk Jennifer Sirocco. So 3 were in favor, and all against. There were 4 against. So 3 to 4 against. Beginning renovations with none abstaining. Renovations will be delayed. All right. And then Martin saying that he'll let him know about the costs. Great. All right, moving right along. Sam, will you get Clarence? Now we're ready for him. He should be waiting in the lobby. I would just like to point out that those certain people I mentioned earlier, you're always the same specific people. And it always goes your way. I see what's going on. This is what they call a government corruption. Or what they call government corruption, and it's why our oceans are dying. I seem to be interrupting something. Don't worry about it. Clarence, have a seat. What can we do for you, Reverend? All right, so looks like I've spoken to a few of you about this before, but I would like to request that the Cora Reaver Memorial Scholarship be rechristened in another's name.
Oh.
Right? Why?
That's interesting.
I'd prefer not to memorialize my sister in this manner. So it's Clarence's sister. So Cora Reaver Memorial Scholarship is Clarence's sister. But Clarence, this is this is so important from everything I've heard about Cora. Your sister was a free spirit who would have wanted. This isn't relevant to, it is, I think she would love, or would have loved that her legacy is helping young people explore the world and learn before coming back home. That was exactly what she stood for, and that connection with the mainland is what we need right now. I don't need her name to be dragged into whatever idealistic vision you have for this island. Clarence, please, you know I never want to insult you or hurt you, but I think this might also be a healthy way to heal. I'll thank you to stay out of my healing. Whoa now, no need for... I may have trusted you with stories I don't often revisit, but my personal life is my own. I won't have it invaded, and you're blinded by the good you think you're doing. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Clarence. I've always felt the scholarship paid homage to Cora, and it's helped plenty of people who I know are immensely thankful. Clarence, I've said my piece. Thank you all for your time. Clarence leaves. We asked about should someone go after him, leave him be. I don't know if it'd do much good at the moment. Beth saying, I just thought, and then right, well, for now, I suppose that issue has been raised. The next awardee doesn't get picked for a while, so we have plenty of time to discuss it in the meantime. And we're over time. We are. Anything else to cover that we've missed? Beth, I know you've been working hard on that proposal. I'll be bringing a new proposal to the committee next meeting that I'm very excited for you all to look at. I look forward to it. All right, let's adjourn. So she had some kind of proposal. Right, so that's why he doesn't get along with Beth. And it looks like Beth has some kind of proposal that she's going to be bringing to the table next meeting.
Right.
Do you?
Translated, no. Do I have the code to translate the thing? Yes.
Okay, so how'd you figure out the lettering?
So I started looking at the twos versus the non-twos, and I finally found one word that I could use as a reference. Nice to meet you. Navigators. I found, because the club room, I kept going back to that word. That word is navigator, so I took the known letters, stuck them on here. My drawings are absolutely ridiculous. But I basically took the navigator known letters and stuck them in, and basically anything with a 2 at the bottom is the back half of the alphabet, so from in on. Anything without a 2 on it, I think might be the first half. And I think it starts by going A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
That makes sense. So 13 and 13.
Yeah,
so you're thinking A up here,
yeah,
goes around, and then second time around is the second half of the
exactly. So if it has a 2, it starts at N and goes that way.
Okay. So
but I don't have any of the stuff translated.
So that's why we need 13. Look at that. You're so smart.
I don't know about that. I just kept following the inspector's guide. Told me to keep trying certain things, and it kind of hinted to look for patterns. So it clued me in to look for the word navigators.
Okay.
Like, to look for a word I would recognize to know a starting point, and that's where I found it from.
Okay. So so on that doodle, that's what we've got. So basically, you would start at the 12 o'clock on the doodle. That would be the letter A, and then going clockwise, 1 o'clock would be B, 2 o'clock would be C, 3 o'clock would be D, etc. Once you get back around to the 12 o'clock, that's where the little 2 is that's next to the letters. That indicates the second round of that, the second half of the alphabet. So I think that starts with what, N, right?
Yes,
So it
correct.
starts with N and then ends with Z. Trying to mess with computer monitors, that's okay. All right.
So far, it's matching up. Do you want to start putting it to work on some of the letters on here?
Yeah, that works.
Or it's matching up pretty well. Basically, if it's a 2, we start at N and we count for it. If it's not a 2, we start at A and count for it.
So we said, let me see this quick.
Yep. My drawings are absolutely ridiculous. I'm not good at art.
Oh, you're good. Let me just do this second.
There's a
So you
copy
can
if
finish
you want.
that.
Okay, if you do that one. Yep. Wait to see if Kimberly's gotten any of it written down yet.
Okay, so just writing these down real quick for myself. Okay. So we've got that. You've mostly been listening. That's okay. All right, so let's look at, we've got this one. So this is anytime with that N, or anytime with the little 2, that's an N, right? So
yeah, so anything that has like that, the Virgo sign with the,
or the little hook with the 2 is an N.
yes, yes.
And anytime without it, it's going to be an A.
Correct.
That part.
Oh, it was a tricky one, I have to say. I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was real tricky.
I was really stumped there for a few minutes. Everything I was trying was just not happening. The symbols could not be more tricky, though. For someone who can't draw, these are nightmares to try to draw. I'm just like, I can't even attempt to imitate these things.
Right?
That was the N. Ooh. Down. This arrow.
All right, so we got that part. That you were right though on this part. That's funny.
Was I right?
That's an A.
Well, I figured the A was right, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I
The other
knew
ones
that
are not.
one.
But yeah, these would be D. Dad.
Dad.
So the letters. So it's Hey
Ooh.
Kiddo, and it's signed Dad.
Ooh. Now I'm really intrigued.
It's been a technologically exhausting day. You know what, Kimberly, I believe it for you. I believe it. All right, so it leave me much room to try to write stuff down.
You're okay. I'm going to use this stuff. This stuff is all wrong. That stuff's all wrong.
Yeah.
Do you need any more of the letters, or do you have?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so this one's gonna be a B, right?
An E, I think. Wait, no.
No.
R.
This one's an R. Okay. Okay.
Gosh, you're right. Those are really hard to distinguish. And the next one's without a 2. So
Without
that's going to be
a
an E.
Okay.
And then you said the A, and then the last one's got the line with the circle.
K.
That's
break.
Maybe. Yeah, that's squiggly.
Break into.
Ooh. Yeah, so what's the U squiggle?
Yeah, this is an I.
And the omega. Yep, T.
Into the Navigator's club room. Yep. So, as much as I can put into writing, if you're trying to break into the Navigator's club room. All right.
Okay, so the next one's.
What else do we have here?
I think it's T.
Get the.
Here, let me look at this one because I don't have to write on it. I can just look at the symbols.
Okay, so we've got what else do we have?
So underneath the club room where it's like got the omega, like it looks like an omega symbol.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a T.
Okay.
And we got the M with the hook, so it's an H.
Okay.
And the squiggle kills.
That's
here.
an R.
I think it's an R and then 2 E's. Does that make a word?
3.
Okay, so that makes a word. So we're on something here.
Okay.
All right, so then we've got that squared, so it's going to be an S. And the omega squared
T.
is going to be a yes, T.
T E.
T. Once you start memorizing stuff, you go faster than me. It kills me. I love it, but it cracks me up. Then squared's P. I think the 2 with
The Roman numeral 2 looking one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a P.
Okay.
And then the M with the squiggle at the very end, I think it's going to be an S. Does that make anything?
Yep. Yeah, that's the same as the beginning steps. So 3 steps to get in. First,
Okay.
you need the key to the building.
M squiggly too. So F.
So S.
And then P.
P.
A.
R.
Third thing is wait, but
R.
the third one doesn't have a square on it. There.
It has the 2.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, no, A, yes. But then the next one
Oh,
is
sorry,
R.
no,
So the next
sorry,
one is R.
A and then R. Okay.
Yep. The next one is R, and then it's E. Okay. Spare is hidden, and then okay.
All right, so we got O. M has the little arrow on it, so that's going to be a U. And the omega.
It's a T.
It's a T.
S.
And the M squiggle. And then the U squiggle. So scientific, you know. D. And then the cancer symbol's a D.
Wait.
So
No, that's not a V. That's an I. There's no 2 next to it.
Okay, sorry. Yep.
Yep.
And the cancer symbol's a D. And then E.
Okay, so outside.
Okay.
So spare is hidden outside.
You want to bet it has something to do with that
in
stupid clock thing.
E. R.
You've already lost me again.
Is that a B?
Which one are you on?
Right here. I think that's a B.
This here or that?
That one.
That's a B, yes.
Yep. And then what's the next one?
This
I haven't encountered that yet.
That's Y. If it's got a 2. Does it have a 2?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a 2.
Yeah, it's a Y.
Nearby. Okay. Spare is hidden outside nearby. After that, think like a
In a
navigate
yes.
navigator.
Yes.
So think like a navigator. What's the one?
A
T.
Yep, T.
And then E. Yep. What's the one date that they all care about?
Oh.
So what's the one date that they all care about?
Is it like a year or like a date though? Navigator Club, I have like when they were founded.
Okay. Once you're in, get on the computer and check the program secure to delete.
They were founded in 1890.
This one without the 2.
They were founded in 1890.
Okay. Let's finish translating this one.
Yeah. Where are we at?
This right here.
Oh,
It doesn't have
right
the
here?
2 next to it. Yeah.
it's like an M with an L squiggle. F.
Okay.
And then the O.
Okay.
And then O again, I think. And the T. A. B.
E. Footage.
E. Okay, so that is a word.
Yep.
Okay.
So so check the program secure to delete footage. O F. So of.
Got that. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then
We got squiggle number 2, so that's Y.
yeah.
And then O.
Yep.
What's the M with the
H.
arrow?
No.
M with an arrow with the squared is
With
U.
2 is U. Yep.
Yep. And
R.
we got
S.
that one.
yourself.
I'll have to go on that. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that's an
it's yourself.
L and then, okay.
So they can't pin you. It'll give you a prompt.
Help me with this one. It
Can't
changes
help you
often
with this
as
one. It
well.
changes as often as the.
It's going to be Z. Wait, no, sorry, I lied. M. The basketball lacy things. Looks like an
Okay.
H. Yeah. And then
O.
and the N. And the omega. And H.
S as the months.
You got it.
Yeah.
Do. Okay, so the month's due, so that's not a symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
So make a reminder for yourself in a way you can understand, but others can't. Otherwise, I know you'll forget. Hide this paper. Good luck. Dad. All right.
So the only thing on this whole thing that's confusing to me is their dad died.
Who?
Beth and Gwen's dad's dead. Their mom's alive, but their dad's not. Their dad's
Well,
supposed to
right,
be.
but what about Martin?
Maybe.
Martin, the father-in-law, could have signed it as dad as well.
Maybe. Him and Jody's alibis aren't even remotely on point with each other.
Yeah, so
I'm not
he may have been
enjoying
helping her
too
with this, you know,
Okay.
because he seemed to really, you know,
It's just the way
kind of
he
be on her side with things.
the way he about her though. Like I don't know. I'm just convinced. I'm curious though. You know.
Yeah, your assumption is the same, right? Kimberly, you're saying your assumption that dad is Martin. So I agree.
But they mentioned walking out on those guys. Like whoever
Right.
wrote this mentioned walking out on him, and Martin's still part of the school board, is he not?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is I don't know if he's talking about walking out on the meeting or on the town council or what. I mean, we don't know what that's in relation to at this point. You know, we are seeing more of this Kara Reaver stuff. Let's open up
Ooh, did we
to.
get that file thing figured out from last time yet? Do you have any clues?
You're good. So we got that. So this right here, we got it figured out. So it's I don't regret walking out on those bastards, but this is as much as I can put into writing. If you're trying to break into the Navigator's club room, 3 steps to get in. First, you need the key to the building. Spare is hidden near or outside nearby. After that, think like think like a navigator. What's the one date they all care about? Once you're in, get on the computer and check the program. Secure to delete footage of yourself so they can't pin you. It'll give you a prompt. Can't help you with this one. It changes as often as the months. Make a reminder for yourself. Understand, make a reminder for yourself in a way you can understand, but others can't. Otherwise, I know you'll forget. Hide this paper. Good luck. All right.
So nearby outside is all we got for the key, and that's the point of this whole box is trying to find the freaking key. Correct?
Yeah.
That is so not helpful for all that effort.
So we did have on the Michelle Gray site. So
there's more on that. Didn't we?
Huh?
I'm trying to remember if they showed a picture of Navigators.
they marked where the Navigators Club was.
Oh yeah, where the Navigators Club was, and more specifically where the park was. I think the park is on here, off of Anchor Street. I'm pretty sure. Lord, this thing's so big enough.
So we've got a couple new things in here. So we've got Good Fences folder that we had before, but there's some stuff added to it.
More Good Fences drama.
All right. All right, so this one says, Good Fences Mallory Rock, this month's top post. Squirrels keep breaking into my house. Tired of it. I bought this house around 2 years ago, and without fail, at least once every 3 months, squirrels will find their way into the attic. Tried spraying patching, trapping, everything. I even got a cat, Mrs. Wolf. They keep getting in. I have nothing against squirrels, but this is my house, not theirs. They have so many trees to choose from. I bought this place fair and square. At this point, I'm desperate. Does anyone have some sort of solution to keep them out? Sorry about your squirrel problem. You named your cat Mrs. Wolf. We had the same exact problem for around half a year, and you know what we finally figured out? Part of the roof renovator seller picked out before we bought the house is made of cheap wood. Any chance you bought from JWE?
Oh.
Holy moly, yes. And speaking of, I had a problem with the countertops Jordan picked out as well. They definitely aren't granite like he said. Well, that's incredibly annoying. You're telling me normally I'm all for supporting local businesses, but what he's doing is borderline, and then it cuts off. It's interesting. What's needed for the pin? We need a date. So think like a navigator and
what pin though? Like, is it like a four-digit pin?
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Okay, because I have the date of the year the club got founded. It was like 1890 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think. We don't have anywhere to log into yet, do we?
Oh no. Yeah. And the pin part was it was saying that so they can't pin you. Oh yeah, there's one that changes. It looks like every month. That as well. So
yeah, it was signed in 1890.
Right, Kimberly. The tea hath been spilled. Exactly.
How can someone who has no money to pay for real stuff afford these business cards?
Yeah, I mean it's a fancy business
card. It's a snake.
Is that what it is?
That is a serpent. I am 90% sure.
Oh,
that not like
that's
a snake?
funny. That's funny.
Oh,
so
slippery.
Chat, what Panda was looking at? Let me switch this over to full screen so you can see it. So this is JW Enterprises. This is Mr. Jordan Woodard's business card. Okay, so it lights up for one, right? So it's a pretty powerful, or so it lights up. But I don't know if you can see very well on that black, but do you see the curve for the letter, or for the where it comes down from the R? The tail of that, right there, is a snake.
Looks like an infinity symbol followed by a snake. That's
it's
freaky.
A snake.
That's funny. That's awful funny. Enjoy that tidbit. So good fences is saying
like an L followed by a snake or something. Yeah.
Crappy materials. So that's really good to know. So you may think he's a great businessman, but he's obviously cutting corners somewhere.
Well, right, but so that's the thing, right? So we had that receipt that we pulled up, right? And that receipt was saying that he skipped out on his bill, and that wasn't the first time.
No.
That was not the first time he had skipped out. Right? The Lundys are snakes. All right. And then let's see what the other one was that we had here. So I had 5 of these that look like they got added in. Oh, I forgot. I can't do it. I think it's for whatever reason. Photos. There we go. All right. I wish I could zoom in a little bit on this, but I can't. So.
That's what reading it's for.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
All right. So. Oh, this is a continuation of that. So you're telling me normally I'm all for supporting local businesses, but what he's doing is borderline illegal. I have no idea how he's managed to stay in business this long. Anyways, I recommend you talk to Martin about metal fascia boards. I actually fixed it myself, but he helped me pick out the right materials and sort out dimensions. I'm sure he can just take care of the whole thing for you if you want. I just wanted to save a bit of money. JWE, or this is from Jordan Woodward. JWE takes no responsibility for your damage. Like you said, you bought the house fair and square. Ask anyone. Pleasure doing business with you. JW.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. All right, so Invasion of the Summer People. The story may sound familiar to you. Imagine a sleepy town full of good people minding their own businesses. One day, a strange creature is walking down Main Street. Before they know it, the creature has called up an army of hundreds. The creatures occupy the town, desecrating it day by day, and when they finally leave, the town is left picking up their pieces. This may sound like the new horror flick coming to your local box office, but it's happening on our very island. Which is to say, I noticed some summer people broke off an entire section of the boardwalk railing, around 10 feet. And it was grown adults, not even kids. The takeover begins. Alright, that is not even the worst of it. I am sorry to say my backyard shed has been... let's see. My backyard shed has been standing since my father was around. 2 days ago, I found the bricks had been pulled out of the back, so the whole thing is starting to cave. The renters across from us repainted their entire front porch to this absolutely hideous yellow. It is the worst thing my eyes have ever seen. I hope the poor, I don't know what that word says, don't have a heart attack when they get back and see their house has been turned into an abomination. I think it's the last name, Wilds. Wilds.
Yes. That family is really good friends with Sam.
Okay.
When I was doing all the good fences stuff and corresponding and all, they were really empathetic to Sam over the Beth and Sam dispute.
Did it again. We're opening it in this. There we go. All right, so
oh my.
Wilds. So it was Wilds. So this is a continuation again.
No
hopefully the Wilds don't have a heart attack when they get back and see their house has been turned into an abomination. So the renters actually repainted the whole front of the house. The Wild family commented, Stacia, we actually painted it ourselves before we rented it out. But if you think the color's that bad, we might rethink it. Oh no.
That is awesome.
Insert open mouth, insert foot.
Awkward.
Janet, forgive me. It's certainly not what I would have chosen, but I'd only seen it in midday and at night. I happened to see it during sunset, and it was almost lovely. It's up to you.
that is the best reverse ever. Looks great since you did
it. So those same people who wrecked the railing must have done the sign at Vanishing Beach. It's been gone since a week or so before the Lighthouse Festival. Is the whole thing gone? Not all the bricks, but a good half of them. I would say about 13 1/2 bricks.
Interesting.
Yep. All right, so let's do that. That's and then let's try opening this up in... Well, there we go.
What we've been able to tell, it looks like Beth died the Friday before the Lighthouse Festival began, because that's the night they test the fireworks out for the following week's Lighthouse Festival.
Yeah.
So the Friday that she died was the night they were supposedly doing this test fireworks and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's interesting, because that means those bricks were already missing.
No, not bricks. So, so the rest of this actually is, so that was from the person that had the garage where the bricks were pulled out of the back of it. So he was responding. And then so somebody else, or so Dan Short responded back again saying, no, I was asking about the sign Frank mentioned.
That's what I was wondering.
Then you should be more clear about who you are addressing. Frank was saying not the whole thing, just the bottom part that used to say no swimming. It was a loose 2x4, easy for some drunkie to break off for a souvenir. I made a post about this. So this is from Madden. I made a post about this earlier. I reported this to Sully a week after the Lighthouse Festival. Evidently, it's still not fixed.
So she's saying it was seen after the Lighthouse
No, no,
Festival.
no. She reported it
Oh, okay.
a week after the festival. So
Okay.
the previous person, I think, was saying that it was missing a week before the festival.
So if it was missing a week before the festival, then it couldn't have anything to do with Beth's death. All I could think of is she was found with driftwood. There was driftwood on her and in her clothing and on her skin, damage from the driftwood.
Well,
And so
right. But what if that's the murder weapon?
I was thinking that, but if it was missing a week beforehand, how
No,
did
a week
it show
before
up?
the festival. A week before the festival is when they did the testing. That's when she died.
A week before the festival was like, it was like 2 days before the festival she died. I thought.
Well,
She
I thought
died
they
Friday, and the festival started Monday because it was about starting festival stuff on Monday. I thought.
Oh, yeah, Monday night launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she died Friday. Festival started Monday. That's 2 days later.
Ah. Okay.
Because I was thinking the same thing, but there was also. Gosh, though, it just sounds suspicious because the way they described the murder weapon, pretty much that. Oh, that'll be interesting.
Okay, so Greenfin parked in my spot. This is from Eddie Blue. So EB Gundy. There's a Greenfin Almeida tied off in my spot on the pier, North Beach, Pier 3.
Like a boat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jazzy. Coming in with that resub for 4 months. That is amazing, Jazzy. Thank you so much. Takes us another step closer to our 50 sub goal, so that's awesome. All right. So we've got this is more about that Greenfin. Does anyone know who owns it? Because one, it's a very fine vehicle, and I'd like to congratulate them. And two, it's got to move before Saturday, or I'll have to get it towed. Somebody saying, if you can't find the owner, I'll gladly take it off your hands. Nice try, kiddo. You can't even get a license yet.
She's like a young high schooler.
Yep. Doug Brown. Whoops. That'll be mine. Sorry, Blue. I'll be down to move it sooner than later.
That's a shooter?
Yeah, Schooner. Yep, so I'll move it Schooner or later. Eddie, of course. Oh man, this is great. This is right up our alleyway, right here. Puns.
Punny,
all right,
punny,
very
punny.
punny. All right.
Yes.
So hey, take or time. So
Good
take
night.
so take your time or take or time.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Very funny. Oh my gosh, they just keep going.
These grandpa jokes are keeling me.
Oh, you got it.
We're having a hole of a time, and then somebody's like, "Oh my god, please stop."
That is hilarious. Oh, ooh.
What?
Her name, Lindsay.
Lindsay.
Yeah. So Beth's daughter Ruby got blown off by a boy, and I'm pretty sure in his post on one of the Good Fences, he mentioned a chick's name by the name of Lindsay.
Oh, okay.
That he had plans with. I'm pretty sure. So that might be the Lindsay that the boy blew off Ruby to hang out with.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Plot thickens.
Let's see. Open paint. Did we? I think we saw this last time, right?
Is it the one?
Oh yeah, this is the checking in email between Clarence and Beth. Okay, we saw that last time.
Yes.
She
was trying to figure out if he had some issues with her because of all the therapy sessions and how cold he was getting.
Yeah, so this is in response to that. Now after
we never figured the code out though. We remember I had screwed up the code last time. We had to figure it out.
At the bottom of the email.
Yeah, we figured it out. We just figured it out after the fact. I
Oh
think,
yeah. So we did.
I think Kimberly had figured it out for us though because we had messed it up so bad.
Yes.
I do remember I totally was off.
Let me see.
Might have it. That was Reverend Reaver, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is your fault. Leave me alone.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Your fault. Leave me alone. So yeah, so that's what this email was. So saying this is your fault, leave me alone. We still haven't figured out um, the keep safe, the Cora file.
And then we still haven't figured out where the key is at. We know it's outside of the Navigators Club,
Right.
somewhere
So-
nearby, but that's all we know. Ooh, Jordan's website.
Yeah, so we've got the JW Enterprises website linked in here. So we'll take a look at it. All right, so about JWE, so Enterprise is owned and run solely by Mr. Jordan Woodard, a premier Mallory Rock real estate owner, investor, and developer, entrepreneurial mogul, and philanthropist. Mr. Woodard is renowned for his streamlined efficiency, top-notch values, and keen design eye, which all lend to his great success in property renovation projects. Mr. Woodard's work is currently exclusive to Mallory Rock, Maryland, providing services to, or no, not Maryland, Maine, right?
Yeah, Maine. Yeah.
Providing services to support the local economy and uphold standards as a community.
I'm calling
leader. Looking to buy, sell, or remodel? Do we call that number?
I kind of want to.
Yeah, I don't know. Call the number. Let's find out. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when we call the number.
2000 what?
207 200 4909.
All this. That's Maine.
Thank you for calling JW Enterprises, the premier company for all your real estate needs. Mr. Woodard is currently busy meeting clients, appraising residences, writing checks, or signing deals, and cannot take your call. He will get back to you at his earliest convenience.
That is awesome. I do enjoy that he has a woman.
Wow, they actually managed. They
so
actually
good.
got. They actually have the phone. Like that phone number actually works.
That is so cool.
that was awesome. Is there a number for this Tony's Pizza Shop? Oh,
nope.
Okay.
And I don't recognize that one as any of the businesses I found so far through all the good.
Yeah, I don't either.
Stuff.
All right. So current properties.
It just cracks me up that he likes to point out he's a soul. Like he's all about himself. Like he's doing it all. That he's not available. It's so funny.
Right. All right, so all new hardwood floors, new roof, sunroom addition, tile backsplash, kitchen island with granite countertops.
All I'm hearing is wood,
So
which is already
wait.
bad.
1417 Whitecap Way. I think that's the
Here.
one that was talking about with the squirrel problem.
Are you sure?
I think.
Oh, that's funny.
649 Summer Street. Okay. New countertops, new roof, open floor plan, all windows replaced, newly installed sump pump. All right. Past projects. So they got 81 Queen Anne Street.
Trying to figure out if he did Sam's properties. At one point, she was complaining about it falling apart.
You know the address?
I don't. Off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Anyway. I will for next time. Ew, those look rough.
Well, that's what it started as.
Yeah,
That's what it ended
yeah.
as. So that's the
So
before.
he's a good flipper.
the after.
It looks good flipped.
Yep,
It's just not quality.
so, yeah, and many more.
Queen Anne Street, Summer Street, and there's none on Anchor, right? Because Anchor's the road that the
No,
Navigators
not
Club
that I
is on.
saw. Retail properties. So Rock Lounge.
Wondering if it was going to show his what sounds like a strip club.
Louis Lobster Pound.
One of his properties sounds like a strip club, but it doesn't come out and say that. It's
Yeah.
like very subtle wording. The Rock Lounge, not family friendly.
Yep. So there you go. So this is the Rock Lounge here.
Okay.
We can't zoom. It doesn't look like we can zoom. Yeah, no. We can't. Just adjust it. All right. So reviews. All right. Let's find out. All right. So I'm buying from JW Enterprises. You can't spell JW Enterprises without spelling prize. And that's exactly what you get when you buy one of Mr. Woodard's remodeled homes. I will certainly never forget working with Jordan Woodard. He is really something truly astounding. That's all I can say.
I'm not recognizing any of these names whatsoever.
Great houses for great prices, all around just great. On buying from competitors, if you rearrange letters in Sika and Neb Holmes, it spells bad choices, man. Enough said. I'll never do it again.
Wait, Terrence Crews is on there twice.
Yeah, Terrence Crews is on there.
I don't recognize any of these names from any of the Good Fence stuff.
I bought from Lux Home Remodeling. I give them a 0 out of 10 stars. I'd give them negative if I could. The day after I bought the house, I found a nest of mice living behind the refrigerator. Lux Home Remodeling would not even reimburse me for having to hire very expensive pest control services. I don't know how Lux Home Remodeling is one of Maine's most well-known property developers remodelers because they are very terrible. Do not buy or remodel your house with Lux Home Remodeling.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's really it on the page. So awesome that the phone number works.
Cool.
That's awesome that the phone number works.
I like that it said he's writing checks because we know he's obviously
right.
broke.
Yeah, he's obviously broke.
But he's writing
he's
checks.
he's skipping out on checks.
Well, and it's funny because in his little interview that he did with that magazine in the first section,
yeah,
he was all about how he's self-made, despite what others people think, and then you have to believe in yourself. Others would say confidence, and that taxes are for suckers. Dead serious on that was the real quote.
Cora, and it shifts by the year.
Did it
that
say
the
the year she died? Or you think it's the year of the Navigator? The Navigator was established in 1890, I think.
So if we use the same thing that we did to get into this, which is shifting
1890.
each one of the letters. So 1890 is when
Yes.
Navigators were founded. All right, so if we start with
You're thinking Cora would shift one?
so we need to shift A by 1. So C would be D.
Okay. And then what did I say? 18.
Is that it? 1890?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we need to shift by 8. So O would be W.
Will be 9 letters, and you start with R.
R would be A. Okay.
And 0 for the last one, so it would stay A, I'm assuming. Because 1890
yeah.
is 0, so it would just stay A.
All right, let's see if that works. Nope, invalid. Okay. 'Cause it says The Departed.
Which makes me think of Cora.
Right, and that's, yeah, but that's the name of the file.
Wait,
is Cora.
reflection of the year. Reflection of the
So
year.
let's flip the year backwards. Reflection of the year. So if the reflection of it would be
I was trying to figure out why they would have sent us this. Does it reflect anything?
no, it doesn't look like it.
They had a mirror compact in one of the last ones that reflected stuff backwards.
0
So maybe 0,
1860,
1.
but
Oh wait, what are you doing? I was flipping.
oh,
this
you were
backwards.
flipping it backwards, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay,
reflection, I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So 1 and 8 would be the same.
No, it'd still be 098. Yeah,
Well,
reflection
no,
in
because
the
this
mirror.
one would like.
If you flipped it,
Oh, I see,
yeah,
yeah.
that way, yeah. But in a mirror, it would just flip backwards like you have it.
You
So
think?
the 9 would look backwards. But so we can try that one. All right, so let's try
The Cora would be by 0. That'd be C then. And
so
then
yeah.
O would be by 9 letters.
X.
Okay, and then R is going to shift by 8 letters.
D.
And then A would shift by 1 letter.
Okay. D.
So CXZB.
Valid password. Nope. That's not it either.
The Departed.
The
Wait, would it be in Cora's?
Departed
Reflection
shifts
of the
in
year.
the reflection of the year.
Did it say what year she died? Maybe it's talking about the year she died, not the Navigators Club thing. Maybe they're 2 totally different things.
Maybe.
Because we're not hacking. Like this.
We don't
is
know when
Beth's
she died,
stuff.
though. We don't have anything that
We don't
says
know
anything
anything
about
about
when
it.
she
Well,
died.
Okay, so she is related to the Reverend, so we do know at
Correct.
least roughly. It's not like she was like 200 years ago or something.
Correct.
1890, but what was the reflection of 1890?
We don't know that either.
Yes.
When the scholarship was started.
Good call, good call. We know that Beth was one of the, I think Beth was a recipient of it, which is why she's now contributing to it in her death. Did we get everything on the Hunt a Killer extra site, or did we miss anything there yet?
Actually, let me look. We might know the year.
Reverend.
No, never mind. It doesn't say how long it's been going.
I'm just checking to make sure there's nothing different on the Mallory Rock website. I think it's all. It just says the scholarship winner. Change on the website. Oh, still there. Click back.
Cora Reaver. Yep. Nope.
So
All
Cora
right.
is definitely the part that's shifting. Cora is definitely what's going to shift. We just need to figure out the correct year. We ever try the year we used last time? The what was that? 1851. What would 1851 reflected be?
I don't know if we did that one or not. All right, so 1851.
But how do you reflect that? Like, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Is how do you get it reflected?
No, just backwards.
Is that what
So
reflected
5
means?
would look like a 2.
1, 5,
But
8,
I don't know.
1.
I'm guessing 1581. Yeah.
So that would be D.
All right, and then shift
So
by
O would
5.
go for 5, yeah.
Okay, so O would be T.
R would go forward by 8.
R would be Z. Back to 1.
It would be from B.
Yep.
Remember, you got the idea? Wait, here we go. Be a different date. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. So many dates mentioned in all this Mallory Rock stuff. Shift. It doesn't really even mention the Quora folder though, so maybe we still don't have enough to access the Quora folder and they're just screwing around with us.
I mean, we might not. Yeah, we
Yeah.
might not have it.
We should probably go ahead and figure out the key part because that is obviously the goal for this box. And if we stumble back on that,
Yeah, no, I agree.
ooh,
Oh, you have an idea?
Yeah,
Okay.
never
What's
mind, then I'm all in. What's the
What's
idea?
the idea? So
Would
it
Quora-
says the departed shifts in the reflection of the year.
Oh, yeah.
What
Go.
just happened? Oh, we gotta blow them. Thank
Jazzy
you. My goodness.
coming in with 5 gifted subs. Coming in for
Oh,
Jessica, Tigress,
yeah.
El Diablo, Zai21, and Fatal Storm.
Something about go back down there. Something about pictures.
It
of
takes
the
up to
date.
41 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Jazzy, thank you so much.
Date.
You are absolutely amazing. Yes, are there any pictures that might have a hidden date?
Let's look back at that drawing.
Yeah, is there anything in that drawing?
Oh,
I don't remember seeing anything in the drawing,
yeah.
Well, because the date they landed on the rock was 1690 or something, wasn't it? You're saying like Mallory Rock was established in 1690?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
1690?
I think so.
What do we want to try that? Reflection of the year, so 1690, so 0, 9. So the only thing that would change would be this right here. So instead of the Z, so CX, and then it would be we'd shift it by 6.
1690 was when they landed on the rock, which is the only thing this makes me think of is when they landed here.
So we shift it by 6, and then that would be the R. R would be X. So no. So CX or CXXB. Nope, invalid.
Crazy.
So yeah, I'm betting we just don't have the right amount of information for this Quora folder quite yet. I think that's what it is. Let's see. Those are the investigative best practices. Bible verses. Okay, we're good there. Already watched that video. And that video, there was I don't see any changes to the Mallory Rock site.
I didn't either. I just briefly looked at it.
Yeah, I don't see anything different with it, so it doesn't look like they changed anything with it. Even the safety and all that stuff is still the same, so it doesn't look like anything's been updated with it.
I really feel like somehow the key is in or near that sundial, because why else would they have mentioned the sundial in the book from that first box, and then have a Mallory's monument page with all these different monuments, like, because we know the sundial is right next to the oh, actually, it's also in memorial of the people with the bridge collapse.
Yeah. So if the
Did it say what year the bridge collapsed? Doesn't, does it?
That was like a year ago, so
But it doesn't
would've
specify
been
a year. Yeah.
Well, assuming a year ago, then assuming that we're talking this year and that this death obviously, just happened.
Well, the problem is that one guy was venting out his water bill in 2015, so I'm betting that they're intending it not to have a specific.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To keep it more, yeah.
All right, so 3 steps. First, you need the key to the building. Spare is hidden outside nearby. We're trying to get into the Navigator's Club room. So what would be nearby the Navigator's Club room?
Hold on a second. The Anchor Street mailbox. The club is on Anchor Street.
Is it?
Yeah. I know that for a fact. Let me see where here. They outgrew their space, and so they built their.
Hey, Jazzy, that's really appreciative. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Meeting house. Oh, there's an article. Meeting house photo in the lantern.
Right.
Here. Maybe there's a secret reversal
okay.
in there.
So Mallory Rock History Navigators Club Meeting House.
I swear it said it was off of Anchor
Yeah,
Street.
so 1890 is that. Didn't we have a little notebook?
We did. I gotta go get it. I didn't bring it with me.
That was the Navigator's notebook.
We did.
Talked about different things.
I left it up there. I think.
Okay.
I thought to myself, surely I won't need that. Let me go grab it. I swore it said, yeah, Anchor Street. Construction began in 1892 on the new building. So
Okay.
1892 is when the construction on the building took place.
Yeah, so in need of a separate building, the members quickly settled on a location on Anchor Street. Construction began in 1892. The architect chosen for the project, Philip Breck, was well versed. Okay, so yeah, so recently members of the Navigators Club completed a large-scale campaign to renovate the grounds. The most notable change was the addition of a large sundial, a nod to the club's nautical origins. With proactive improvements like these, this architectural treasure is sure to retain its historic beauty for the next generation of islanders. We think that it's nearby.
Because even that says 1690 on the front, right?
Well, yeah, that's for Mallory Rock.
Yeah.
Mallory Rock was
Well, I was
established.
just thinking
so
of it
Navigators
says reflection,
Club.
so I was still going off of that. But
Okay, so this so proceeds from the sale of this notebook benefit the charitable activities of the Navigators Club. All right. Voyage, the lighthouse, the ferry, the fishing industry, the Navigators Club. So Navigators Club is a social charitable group whose membership includes the male descendants of founder Edgar Mallory's original crew. The Navigators Club works to make the community a better place through funding charitable activities and fostering community. Club upholds a system of values standards. The meeting will often conclude with members reciting the precepts together. Didn't we solve this? Like, of what this meant?
Yeah. Got it right here. So I have it typed up. So the Latin's in italics, and then rough translations are off to the side.
Okay. So we've got I am not led, I lead. Fortune favors the bold. Deeds or actions, not words. I shall either find a way or make one. To the stars through difficulties. That was what somebody had said, right? In that article.
Uh-huh.
No. So this book is not online. Unfortunately. Yeah, this isn't well known, but Edgar Mallory's favorite saying in times of trouble was "through hardships to the stars." So similar to that, to the stars through difficulties. All right, everyone is the maker of their own fortune. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Oh, you meant something else, but it was online. Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, this is also in. I think this is your document you uploaded to the Discord, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this document that we're actually looking at right now is also in the Discord. You just have to probably scroll back some. So then, everyone is the maker of their own fortune, and then the next one had 3 translations. If I cannot deflect the will of superior powers, then I shall move the river, Curion. If I cannot defeat the will of heaven, then I shall move hell. Hell will I raise if heaven my suit denies. Okay.
Yeah, that one just kept finding more and more arguments.
Yeah. Caesar is the beginning of the end. Wolf is not afraid of the dog barking. Nothing comes from nothing. The eagle does not catch flies. And the possession of this. All right, so that's what everything translates to. All right, so that didn't help really as much as I thought it would.
Can we just try Sundial? Can we just be generic? Maybe all she wants is what we think is the Sundial, versus like something like more specific. It's where in this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's
That's my vote. I feel like that's like the obvious thought.
Kimberly,
right
all right, so Kimberly, you got an idea? What is it? Well, we need to be specific, like in a flower pot or under a mat.
So in the Sundial.
Do you have an idea and a note I can't figure out? Okay, so what note that you can't figure out? Are you asking if it's a link inside of the first image? Yes, it is. So that link actually opens up the second image. So the image that's directly below that, that's the image that gets opened up from that link. So no, it's just that, yeah. So this is what Kimberly's talking about, chat. So in our Discord, again, feel free, hop in the Discord if you haven't. You can find all of our Hunter Killer stuff there in the Discord. So yeah, it talks about that there's a photo series hosted by the Lantern. So in this week, so she's talking about this right here was something everyone else is missing, being a link. It is a link. And this is the image that opens up from that link. So just a little bit about this doc. You have 1979 scribbled with the rest of your notes. I don't know what that was from.
Say that again.
She has 1979 scribbled
Oh,
with
I
the
don't
rest
know
of
what
her
that's
notes.
from either. There's nothing that recent that I recognize. I tried in my binder to make like each landmark like with its own stats, if you will. Like first time the festival was thrown
Yeah.
for the Lighthouse Festival.
So do we think, I guess so, yeah, this is the question. So our objective today wasn't to get into that folder. We just, thought maybe we could get into it somehow. But
We thought we could be smarter.
we
than
thought we
actually
could be
did.
smarter than, than the folder. But, so with our objective, right? So our objective is that,
Oh,
we need to send a message back to Gwen with the subject key location and tell her exactly where we think that the key is hidden, like in a flower pot or under a mat. She's already checked both those places, zilch. So if we say that it's at the sundial, is it on the sundial? Is it
I think
under
we
the
could say
sundial?
word
Is
sundial
it
and see what happens.
near the sundial? Or do we say, because you also said that that mailbox was nearby.
It is, but I checked the dates and it says the word 1918, and this is prior to that for when that house was built. Remember, it was built like the 90s or something. So
Well, yeah. But
I'm
that
leaning-
mailbox was still nearby it, right?
no, it wasn't built till like 1918 or something. I don't know. It doesn't. It seems like they're pointing to the sundial because they don't mention the mailbox in the book, but the sundial was mentioned in the book on the little island
So
restaurant.
19.
referral.
Okay, so
I really feel like they're pointing to the sundial. They keep talking about it. It's a
When it was
memorial to the
extended, that
Rockites
was
that were
1918.
injured, so the
Okay.
sundial's brand new. They may
Yeah.
have moved the key there. I don't know. It just seems like the most obvious place they're pointing us to at this point.
right. And then when did we say? We track
Okay.
for a 9791. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, it pays homage to the original founders and then also the more recent bridge collapse victims. Because I know it mentioned it in there because I wouldn't have made such a strong note about it if it wasn't mentioned in there. I tried to dissect everything I could out of that.
Well, so the sundial wasn't done until recently.
Right.
So a
But that
year
doesn't
ago.
mean they couldn't have moved. Right, because the injured people. It was
Right,
the,
yeah. So
But that doesn't mean they couldn't have moved the
so
key.
1892 is when they built the Navigators Club.
correct. The house they're using.
1912 is when they tore down all those houses nearby
Correct.
on Anchor Street to extend it.
Because Last Bastion is on Anchor Street. That receipt
okay.
from the bars.
So we don't know if that
That's
mailbox
on
is actually
Anchor
nearby.
Street. Yeah. No, so we don't, because like the Anchor Street, 104 Anchor Street's the Last Bastion, and I don't think it tells us where exactly on Anchor Street that mailbox is, which is the problem.
Right.
Anchor Street's a pretty long street from what I can tell.
Okay, so let's try. So we're gonna do 97. Wait, the coded message? You're saying that wasn't to Beth?
What? Yeah, I don't think it was to Beth either. I thought the same thing. Just the way the wording is.
Grundy.
Kiddo.
Oh, Grundy uses the name Kiddo.
Kiddo. Why would that be to Sam? No, that wouldn't be.
All right, so we've got L, or so that'd be L, and then 7. So O would be V. Nine again, right? R would be B.
Oh,
Go.
yeah.
Vaughn coming in with 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much, Vaughn. That takes us to 46 out of 50 for our
Oh,
goal.
yeah.
We got gifted out to Double Starburst, Predator Gamer, Bonzo Hype, Redneck, 82nd, Yeah, that is absolutely
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Vaughn, thank you so much. Forgot to do this last time, so I apologize, Jazzy. So I'm going to do this. Actually, we're going to get that in here for
Oh, yeah.
Horace, and we're also going to get this one in for Jazzy because I did forget to get this in here.
Oh, yeah.
So Vaughn and Jazzy both gifting out 5 gifted subs tonight. You are absolutely amazing. Yeah, so Kimberly, that's a good question, right? Like that's what, yeah. So why would Sam want it? So if Grundy uses the name Kiddo with Sam, why would Sam want it? Yeah,
Well,
that'd
she
be
she is very eco crazy, like almost obsessive. She talks about my
possibly.
gods, namaste. Like she's very earthy and holistic and like
Yeah,
crystally and very like earthy. So maybe she's like very eco, not terrorist, but eco cray cray.
yeah. All right.
Who's the
So
big
and then we
cray
also said, all right. So let me go back over that number. It was 9791. Okay, so A would be B, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. Nope, invalid password.
I think this thing is going to be there to taunt us for a while. We can't
Right?
click on recycle bin. Nothing else will let us in. Like there's nothing new. We can't get into anything
Yeah, we
new,
can't get
right?
into
Okay.
anything else. Yeah.
Oh, this is
Ruby
horrific.
still only has the 4 photos.
Yeah.
We'll double check to make sure that
Which, speaking of, while we're in there, I was like playing with contrast and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And in one of the images, I swear, straight back and center, there's like a giant sign. I can't tell what kind of a sign it is. One of the 4. I think it might be
no,
one of
it's a
the.
tree.
No, there's a stump also. There's a giant stump in one of them. That one you can see the stump if you go down a little more.
Oh,
Yeah,
right here?
yeah. But
Okay.
then like directly behind her,
Right here?
I feel like there's a sign somewhere back in there, but I couldn't really tell. Might be the last one. It was one of the ones just being really goofy.
Okay.
And then I also noticed the bracelets, and then she has a necklace on, but it's not the necklace that Joey got from Sam. It's something else.
Okay.
There was a few key things I was like looking at these pictures for a while last time.
Yeah.
I swear in one of those you can see something in the background. It's like a giant sign, but I can't tell where in the
Yeah, I can't
map
see,
she's
I
at.
can't see any
I
kind of
assume it's
sign.
Forest Park somewhere. I just don't know where in Forest Park.
Yeah, probably.
Where was that tree they mentioned that the kids all swung at? The
Oh,
swinging
man.
tree.
Vaughn, I hope you're having an amazing night. Thank
Oh,
you
it's
again for
personal
those
center
5
post.
gifted subs. That's absolutely
mind.
amazing.
I think we should move on to trying to figure out the key situation if we stumble
Yeah.
on the core thing.
All right,
So
so chat the consensus. So do we think the consensus is are we in agreement that it's something with the sundial? So I mean, but like I'm still stuck on this. Like she's very specific about mentioning that it's either in or under or so like how would we phrase it with the sundial? Are we saying that it's in the sundial, that it's on the sundial?
again, because of what we had with that first one, where it could have been a few different answers, I think we should just try sundial and see if it works.
Just all right, we just
Yeah.
tried the word sundial?
Yep.
Okay.
Worst thing she says is no, think a little harder, or oh no. Worst
Okay.
case scenario, she says close but not close enough, or oh, I think you're on the right track. But like
Okay.
maybe she'll be like, yeah, sundial, let me go touch and look, because
Yeah.
remember she found that stone on the beach. And so, because I actually was testing the first one, if you had said Mallory Rock Cottage, Vanishing Beach, or one other option, like it would have said yes either way. So, like, I tested the first box, I tested a few of the different answers just to see if she had any type of a different response, and she did not. It was the same response no matter which option you chose.
Okay.
So, that was kind of what my logic is. Let's just try sundial or something. She says. Maybe we'll at least know if we're getting close.
All right, chat. We're gonna try this. We're gonna submit to Gwen. We're gonna say that it's the Navigator Sundial is where this key is hidden. So that's what we're gonna try to figure out. We're gonna see if it's the right answer. We don't know yet. Send message is sent. Inbox. All right. Here's our response. All right. Yep. That was it.
Yeah?
That was it. Let me make sure. Oh no, never mind. I won't be able to show this on screen. So,
Ooh, what's she saying? I can't read it.
All right, so she's saying, right? Yay, overthinking. All right, found it. The key was right where you said it would be. The stand of the sundial has a little hole in it.
So apparently it
And the
didn't.
key was hidden there. There's no way anyone would find that unless they knew to look closely. We're in uncharted waters now. I've unlocked the front door and I'm inside the building, but the clubroom door is locked with a numeric code. The code we're looking for is 6 digits.
Right.
Do the instructions say anything about that? Shoot me a new message, subject line door code, with those 6 numbers when you figure it out. Oh, so this is possibly a 2-part
Yeah.
ending here.
So 3 steps
So it's
to
a
get
6
in.
digit.
First, you need the key to the building. Spare is hidden outside nearby. So we just established it's in the sundial. I already forgot the word. After that, think like a navigator. What's the one date that they all care about? The one date that they all care about. Wait a second. I read that they did something in September of.
I'm gonna get this posted in the Discord for everybody here. I'm gonna mark spoiler. Done. All right, so it's a 6-digit code, not 4. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Didn't one of these things mention like something about September of some year? Something had happened or was finished in September of some year. I don't know why the word September is like burning my mind, but I can't pinpoint where from. It just says, think like a navigator. What's the date that they all care about? Oh, 1690 would be the right answer. It just seems not right.
Well, that's not enough numbers.
Wait, it was the lighthouse. The lighthouse, I think, finished in September of a year, didn't it? There was something that finished in September of some year. I remember reading this, but I read too much stuff.
Very possible.
I read way too much crap. I'm so confused. My online version.
No, spring of 1851, the Mallory Rock Lighthouse was complete.
Oh, is that what it was? Spring, right? That's
Yep.
enough date.
Okay, nothing in there. Let's try this one, maybe. Okay, as the 20th century neared, the descendants of the founders of Mallory Rock began to worry their ancestors' legacy was fading. Hoping to keep the founders' memory alive, the Hendricks, Reaver, Gundy, Ferris, Good, Woodard, and Ballantyne families came together to form a new organization on the island. This club would have one primary purpose: to honor their forebears' contributions to Mallory Rock. After the charter was signed in 1890, so 1890 is the charter.
Right, which is the same as the Nav Club starting, yes.
Yep. So the Navigators Club began meeting in the home of one of the founders, Edwin Good. However, since every male descendant, all right, so it outgrew in need of a separate building, the members quickly settled on a location on Anchor Street. Yeah, that doesn't mention a month. Mention a month at all. What is it, chat?
Honestly, I just want to start trying September of all the different years it keeps throwing at us. That's just my bias.
Right. So that's another good question, Cuba. So is it supposed to be like in a month, day format?
See, my thought was month and then 4-digit year format was what I was in my head thinking.
Yeah.
Right. It could be a month, day, year thing too. The one thing about this set of boxes is they don't do dates. Like they do maybe years, but like specific days or like more specific dates just don't happen. It's like even Beth, we don't know the literal date she died. They do not tell us. They tell us she died on a Friday. It was a Friday they were doing fireworks, but they never say a physical date.
Right. So yeah, or is it so is it month, day, year, or is it month, year? So is it like a 4-digit year with a 2-digit month?
That's what I'm thinking. Brian's memory is so good sometimes and so horrible other times. The statue pays homage by Block Profit 64. The statue's close. Union Street, blah, blah,
Is there
blah.
anything that we have in?
Like the swinging tree and the fountain are both mentioned date-wise. Oh, wait. As you might have guessed, the Ferris family built the fountain after a known navigator, Elisha Ferris, charitable heart. 1966, his descendants funded a fountain in his name at the park.
Yeah.
Money was donated. It does mention navigators.
Think like a navigator.
Back to that book. Anything?
No, I didn't see anything. Where's our translated copy? That you're reading? No. The yellow paper. Yellow paper.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So
Think like a navigator.
after that, think like a navigator.
Oh.
What's the one date that they all care about?
Oh, I didn't know if it was the keys, something about the keys. We never did figure out the keys situation. I thought maybe there was something to do with the key. No. The one date we all.
It's got to be with the founding of it, right? Like that would be
16.
the one date that. Well, no, that would be the founding of Mallory Rock.
I got you. Yeah.
And the founding of the Navigators Club was 1890, right? So
Yes, established 1890.
give the original yellow paper.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's I tell you what, episode 3's been like it seemed like it was gonna be easy, and then like
there wasn't much paper.
And then the cipher thing was pretty tough to figure out, and now we're trying to figure out this door code, and this door code, man.
Wait a second.
But
I was just thinking of like maybe what it's pointing to on the clock has to do with it.
in the doodle,
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly just feel like there's something about the Latin words and no.
yeah, but there's 3 keys pointing to 3 different theoretical times. But
Well, the one key I liked the most was pointing to at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't work though.
or you could do 0, 1.
Well, I was trying to see if it was somehow pointing us to a specific one of these. So is it pointing at 1 or 2?
Pointing at 1.
Non-ducor. I am not led. I lead.
Yeah.
I lead. That's
Huh?
that's 6 words. I am not led. I lead.
Right, but it needs to be it's a 6-digit code.
So do
6.
we?
So she said.
What I was trying to say would be 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 4. Each amount of letters in each word. There's 6 words.
Okay.
That's pointing that specific key that's correctly drawn, blah 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 blah, because that's obviously pointing them towards breaking into this place, right? Humor me.
Yeah, it says
yeah.
code we're looking for
code.
is 6 digits. Did the instructions say anything about that? Shoot me a new message.
Try this. Just try this for an email. Let's just see what we get. I'm probably way off base, but
pull this up first.
once in a while I've gotten lucky.
There was Kimberly. So that was an email during the in between. It had to do with the founder, and he carved some stuff in the
Yes.
in tree.
Yes.
And then
But the emails we get between boxes, I did find on the Hunt a Killer like Facebook forum, are specifically teaser fun stuff, nothing to do with solving these cases. They strictly express like that stuff is a fun extra and has nothing to do with solving.
We
these
still
cases.
never did figure out that one though.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Tombstone one, no one has.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
No one has that I can find out.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Try 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 4. I know. Trust me. Not so much.
That's not it.
I had to try. Okay. So we're looking
Okay,
for
so this
probably a
one said,
date or
so the
year.
response we got back from her though is that's not it. Trying to think of a 6-digit number that the Navigators would use as a code. What would a group of self-obsessed elitists care about?
Men.
They'd all care about money. They would all care about
Well, sailing,
status.
ships, lighthouse. Like, they basically care about their legacies.
Right.
Wait a second. Oh, hold on.
But
There was actually let's just follow commands in times of trouble and every meeting reading these precepts. They want to uphold
right, Kimberly. Exactly. It has to be yes.
want their ancestors' legacies.
So
I swear it said somewhere September of a year. And that's the part that's bothering the
I just
crud
don't
out
know.
of me.
Well, I mean, what year are
That's
you
the
thinking?
problem. I don't know.
Are you thinking the Lighthouse year? Or are you thinking Navigator when they were
I
founded?
feel like it would have to be the Navigator.
Okay,
Okay, try
so-
this. Try like I'm either thinking it's the year of the Navigator or the year maybe they started building their building.
Okay. So what do you want? What numbers do you want me to try?
Try 0981. Sorry, 091890. I'm just trying to really quickly scan any other dates or things that would matter.
Okay, that's not it either. We got the same response back.
Okay.
So just saying, what would a group of self-obsessed elitists care about?
Because they're male only, and they do explicitly say it's only for the male descendants of these founders. Like they specify that they specify that they had to get a new building, so they started it in 1892. They won't let visitors in the building. You can
Right.
only look at it from outside. Surrounding green space, blah blah blah. English garden. They did a large-scale campaign to renovate the grounds, so the largest sundial. A nod to the club's nautical origins. The most notable change was the addition of a sundial, a nod to the nautical origin.
Okay. Man, I don't know what this is.
I feel like we're just so like close, but like so far.
Right?
Anyone else got any ideas?
Like I'm
stumped.
like really stumped on this right
brain,
now.
brain is an overload. Did we try 1690 yet?
With what number?
Honestly, I was gonna start saying let's start with every month. I don't know. I'm scanning. So it has to be something Edgar, Mallory, or Sailor Navigators Club people specific, right? At the home of Edwin Good, since every person that was male was eligible. Was there anything in the meeting house photo? Did you see any numbers? Any like can you look at the meeting house photo again to see if you see any numbers anywhere in it? Like anything in the background, anything of fanciness? Because there is an illustration drawn by Peter Reaver in 1890 to commemorate the founding of the club, but I don't see any numbers in this image. This is one of those teaser images we were sent.
Yeah, I don't see any kind of like numbers hidden. And I think, like, man, all this stuff is supposed to be like in a way simplistic, right? Like we keep overthinking a lot of this stuff. I
Yeah,
feel
it
like.
has to do with sailing and
Um,
navigating. So is there any like special compass stuff or sailing stuff or navigation stuff that we're just not thinking of?
Not with numbers that I can think of. Um,
I have something about the Founders Wharf. Hold on, Founders. That's where they landed. Edgar Mallory's crew landed. There was photos nearby. Okay. Fishing Beach, tucked between Stony Point and Cottage. Remote spot for proposals. That is a ferry. That doesn't have anything to do with it. They don't. It's not necessarily Lighthouse Festival
wait a
specific.
minute, wait a minute. Oh, no, that wouldn't make sense.
It's
But I don't know. Wait, 0. No, because that'd be 4 digits. It'd be 4, 4, and 4, so that wouldn't work. What the heck? On.
So what are the other numbers? We had 1, and what are the other 2 numbers pointing to?
So this one's pointing to Taurus.
Well, I just meant like the.
Um,
Oh, okay, because it's not necessarily a clock, right?
this one's pointing, which is 1 o'clock. This one's pointing to, um, maybe
4,
5
right?
o'clock. Um,
Oh yeah, 5.
so the problem is that 6 is in the middle of these two, and that's the
Yeah.
problem.
So basically, I think both of those are considered 6 is the catch. So
Maybe, but then is that 7, or would that be
it's kind of pointing right at the line, isn't
7
it?
and then 8 and then that's 9?
Yeah, because that's definitely 9 because it says right there.
So that would be 1. That would be 5.
1,
That would be
5.
7. 157. I don't know.
One ship made it. Founded as an outpost, Navigators Club, social charity group of descendants of original crew carrying on traditions and legacies. Original male descendants, per Michelle Gray, town steeped in history, resistant to change. Counting a lot of pushback from islanders. Published by males, okay. Why? I just really feel like it's 1890, but we just.
Right. We just need to. So if it's 1890, then we need to figure out what's ahead of that.
Yeah, that's the problem. I've got nothing. About to start going. Let's just start by going 01, 02, 03.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to figure out, was if there's anything that would hint at this on the city website at all. But I'm not. So the hotel was built in 1959.
See, that's the thing though, is she keeps hitting back towards sailory things, navigator things, like thinking like a navigator. Navigators are proud and are self-obsessed, frankly. Cocky and pompous for their own good. Very uppity. You go back to home.
Oh, back home on the website? Yeah, home. There you go. So, official, there's that. Visiting. I got,
There's got to be something. So yeah, beware of false promises and flatters. Does that not sound like Jordan Woodard or
Yeah.
what?
Okay.
Okay, let's read this sucker all over again. New fading, hoping to keep the founders alive. An organization, purpose, forebears. After it was signed in 1890, began meeting in the home of a founder. As everyone was eligible, they outgrew the space, construction,
right. Wait.
What'd you find?
So, the secretary, Sam Gundy, right?
Yeah. She's a non-voter.
she's the only non-voter.
Correct.
So in that in the meeting transcript,
She was late all the time.
right.
Unfortunately, I missed some of this because I was trying to figure out the code.
Yeah, here we go. So Christopher Ballantyne, who's the harbor master, literally called out Sam saying, why don't you stick to taking notes and leave the discussion to the people with votes? Which means that literally everybody but her.
Yeah.
Like, he's saying, why don't you leave this to everybody else in this room but you?
Because she's basically there to write it down and call it a day. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew it was a dig at her, but, like, I didn't realize how much of it.
That's ouch, yeah.
Yeah.
That is really ouch.
Like, I didn't process that she was the only one. Like, I thought maybe there was one or two people that were non-voting, but no, there was, like... But that was literally the only person that doesn't vote.
Try this, because it was pointed at the number one, right? The key that looked the most promising. So try 01 1890.
Okay.
I'm desperate at this point, guys. I'm just like, I want to just keep throwing tries out there until we figure something out. That's about as far as my brain's going to probably logic tonight, I think, unfortunately.
At 01?
Yes, so like January of 1890, yeah. It says they established in 1890, and that key, specifically the one that looks correct, is pointing to the one. Nothing?
Not it.
Okay. It's one of those things, though. Until you know, until you try it out, you just don't know.
So, yeah, we just got to figure out. I mean, is this going to beat us tonight?
Right. Oh, no. We have a way to change that. This card. So there's the hints where it can give us a point in the right direction without giving us the full answer.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to have to... We might have to actually go ahead and grab a hint.
It won't give us the full answer, but it'll kind of steer us in the right direction. If this don't work, we might have to work on it on our own and kind of come back to you. That's the last. Ooh.
Yeah. So,
good enough. All right, go in there now. All right, Mallory Rock, episode 3. So they provide you these little cards if you get stuck that kind of give you hints, but only give you the full answer if you're like really over it and can't figure it out. So it's a really nice like way to still point you in the right direction without totally ruining the entire thing. So it's kind of nice. Oh, this is hard though. This is the first one we've had to use the whole entire season.
Right?
It's not liking me here. Oh, probably because I'm not capitalized. All right, so we're, let's see. Recap, hints, reveals, and items, text, accessibility, and solution. Instructions, hints, entering the Navigators Club building, unlocking the door, computer password. So unlocking the, no, we got the unlocking the door, so the computer password hint, right?
No. We need the unlocking door.
The door one.
We need the unlocking the door hint.
Okay, so let's do that then. Sometimes companies and organizations will celebrate their founding with letterheads or office supplies. The book. Right? I mean, it's celebrating its foundation, right?
Ink pen. Where's that ink pen?
Oh, score. September! I knew I read September somewhere.
September 16th.
Ah! But there you go.
There you go.
That's where it was.
It was on the ink pen that whole time. It was
I
on the ink pen.
I told you September was in my head for some reason. Ugh. It was maddening.
Right.
Maddening.
We have been digging through like episode 1 material. We have been digging through episode 2 material. It was
and
on
a freaking pen.
Freaking pen.
I just feel so frustrated because I knew I had read it somewhere tonight. That was what was making me so crazy. Oh.
All right, so 09/16/90.
Yep.
So that's also different because that's the founding of Mallory Rock, not
That
the founding
is
of the Navigators.
That is true. But that was what they were most proud of, right? Because that's what connects the Navigators Club together. they all had ancestors on that ship.
Yep.
That's what the founders were connected by.
We got it right.
Boom.
All right. So, all right. You got it right. I'm in. Of course, the code is the date of Mallory Rock's founding. The navigators are obsessed. Okay, last step. Stay with me. So we got one more step because this is a 3-step process.
Oh my.
Okay, last step. Stay with me. There's a security camera looking straight at me. It's the same kind we use at the hotel, so I know I can turn it off if I can access the security camera program. Looking at the program on their computer now, but I can't get into it unless I enter the right passphrase. Here's the passphrase prompt. In tempore tribulant.
That sounds like one of those Latin words, does not?
It does.
Is it something tempore tribulant? Say it again.
In tempore tribulant.
Doesn't look like it's on my list.
Can I highlight this? No, I cannot.
That's confusing.
Yep, exactly. That was the purpose of the club, was to remember, right? So, let me get this put in the Discord as well.
Why don't I see a single option that says exactly what you're just saying to me now? None of these say what you just said. Oh my God, sorry. Members pledge to follow these commandments, especially in tempore tribulant or times of trouble.
Okay.
A navigator club meeting will often, so like that means times of trouble. In tempore tribulant means or times of trouble.
Okay.
I think anyway, maybe we should look it up as Latin. Look at it really quick if you want.
I have to go back and forth.
No, you're okay.
Spell it.
You sure? Because I can look it up really quick. What are you getting?
And in time. Latin. Saying that it's something about Andy. It changes as often as the months. So the months change 12 times. So it would be possibly a shift cipher by 12.
The word tribulant means Latin.
In tempore tribulant.
In time is the first part. So what's the tribulant mean?
No,
trouble.
no, no. In temp.
So yeah, so times of trouble.
Turbulent. It just says translated to English is and in time.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Tribulant means trouble. So I was trying to tell you though. So it does actually mean exactly what it said. Times of trouble.
Yeah, this translation's wrong though.
Okay. Yeah, it does mean in times of trouble. So what was? So we need a password. It said something on here that was interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
something
the
about...
3 difficulties thing. Hold on.
What?
Right here,
What?
right here.
What?
To the stars through difficulties. That was the other. That was one of the ones I read. So we've got so the passphrase. So the passphrase prompt is in tempore tribulant.
Means times of trouble. Okay.
Okay.
So what about times of trouble? That's the part I'm confused on. Well, I can't read that at all, so you're gonna have to read the rest of it to me. I can't.
What part?
I can't read any of it.
Okay. Sure.
So the computer's prompting us in tempore turbulent question mark.
And
Okay.
so we need to put in the passphrase. So
Oh,
it's similar like the other thing where we had
in times of, so like the pledge to follow the commandments in times of trouble, end every meeting by reciting the precepts.
right.
Does
So
it say how big the
what
password
would,
is?
no, it doesn't. It just says enter the right passphrase. So add Astra per Aspera. But it's also saying that it changes.
Through the months of the year, I see.
Oh,
So is it the 9th?
I got it. Hold
Where'd
on,
you
I've
find
got
it?
this. No. How many months are in a year?
12.
So how many times would it change?
12?
12 times. How many of those precepts are there?
12. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, one for each month, but we still don't know the month we're talking about right now, do
So we just need to figure that out.
Are we trying to type in a whole Latin phrase, though? That's what I'm trying to understand.
No,
right here.
I don't know if we're typing in the Latin or if I'm guessing we would type in the Latin. We would type in one of these phrases.
Yeah. Do you want to start with number 4, since number 4 was the one you kept seeing written out everywhere else?
Well, no, that was just, it got brought up similar to,
Right, because it sounded like the one we'd heard otherwise mentioned,
right, but
though.
you had also pulled it up from up here. So
What do you mean?
it was up here.
What?
What you read, the in tempora
Right, no,
tribula.
I know. I'm saying that if that's in times of trouble and each of these refer to a month, this one is the one that seemed to be mentioned outside of this page before.
Okay.
That you had found elsewhere,
we can try that.
correct? So
Yep.
why not try that one? Because they have to recite them at each meeting. I assume they would have these memorized, right?
Yeah.
You want me to spell it?
Or I can look at it. Number 4. All right, so we're gonna try number 4.
She typed it in there for you. I think anyway.
No.
It's a different one. Okay.
So she was trying to translate the to the stars phrase.
Huh.
All right, so still locked out. I remembered something though. I've always kind of tried to ignore any navigators related bold that was thrust in my face. Just because their whole thing is based off a drunk colonizer from 300 years ago. But Edgar Mallory recorded a bunch of stuff in Latin, which could be related to this prompt. Maybe we're looking for something in Latin. Email when you figure it out. So we're on the right track. It's definitely one of these 12. Should we try number 9?
Let's try number 9, because September of the year, right? Yeah. To delete.
Yeah, that's the footage of yourself, so it can't be pinned. It'll give you a prompt. Okay.
I just don't understand why the U and R are bigger. You know what I mean? Like the S is big, the EC
it's just
small.
I think it's just the name of the system or something.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
But that's where we're currently at right now, right?
Yeah, we're on the secure. Yeah. So she's trying to delete the video footage, but we just got to get the right passphrase. Try yours? Okay. Which one? The ad astra or the per aspera? Or the per.
I don't even see that one on
Okay,
here.
okay, yeah. All right.
It's ad astra per aspera.
Per aspera ad astra.
No, it's the opposite of that.
What is?
It's ad astra per aspera.
Number 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, like, if it matters. It's just that's the way it was typed
Oh,
in the
Ad
book.
Astra. I misread that one.
Sorry, I was just trying to say
I
that's how it was
misread what she
written.
was talking or saying on the
Oh, you're
chat.
okay. I was just letting you know that's how it was
New
written.
message. Yeah, so that one's actually number 4.
Ooh, try number 1 because
No, no, number 4. That's number 5. Ad Astra per Aspera.
try non-Corducos because that's the one that
Nope.
was.
It was that one. 5.
It was number 5?
Yep.
Okay.
Number 5. Ad Astra per Aspera. It's number 5. To the stars through difficulties.
So it was the one you were talking about.
Yeah, I must have typed. I looked at it wrong and actually read number 4 when
Because
you
I
handed it to
told
me.
you to. Yeah, because that
You
was
said
my
number
fault.
4, so I
Right.
was reading.
That was
number
my
4.
fault. Yeah.
Yep. So that was it. It was number 5.
So it was the one they kept referring to. The other thing I was thinking is number 1 would have been pointing to the number 1 on that clock thing earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, it was number 5. So Ad Astra per Aspera.
Number 5.
Yep, that one was right.
Thank God. That was
Yep.
stressful. So now what's she saying?
So
Yes, thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you.
all right, so that was it. I got into the program and shut off the camera. Nice work. Skimmed through the footage archive. Camera seems to be motion activated. It caught me coming in, but I deleted the footage. Nothing else in the archive seems unusual, but there's a folder saved outside labeled SG, Wait to Use. And it has just one video in it, which I'm attaching. You should watch it before doing anything else. It's from the night Beth died. That's Sam Gundy in the footage. So it was Sam that broke into the Navigators Club, not Beth. Damn, I really thought I was onto something. If Sam was in their club room from 9 to 10 p.m. that day, she's definitely not Beth's murderer. This was a lost cause, though I found something with Beth's name on it in the first drawer I opened. Attaching a photo of that, too. It looks like a proposal she was putting together, but why is it here? There's so much to figure out. I still don't think we have enough information to figure out the core folder, and we still have 5 suspects. I'm going to look around for more, then I got to get out of here. I'll send you what I found. All right.
There's an alibi video and a proposal preview. I'm still very curious what this whole locked cage about thing, though. Person crying in a cage.
Yeah, I am too.
That's
I'm
very
curious about
intriguing
that
to
as
me.
well.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't quite comprehend that or the Buddha person on a rocket. These are odd pictures of imagery.
Yeah. Gwen's response to the passphrase. Now going to be the email for that will be in the Discord.
Wow, this would definitely mess with your head. You see so little paper, you're like, oh, this isn't going to be that big of a
Right.
deal this time. This one's been a kicker.
All right. So next up, we're also going to.
No. Mm-mm. I could really do without that sound effect.
I thought
Oh
I
my
heard
God.
something earlier, and I was like, "What am I hearing?"
That's like heebie-jeebie worthy. Thank you so much.
That's crazy though that it didn't show up that it didn't show up on top. Like, I didn't.
You gonna click the links yet?
Yes. As soon as I get that back open.
No worries. Sorry, dying to see the video.
You're okay. Oh, that's what it was. The horrifying ambient sounds. I was like, I don't know if you saw me a little bit ago. Like, I thought my ears were ringing. Like, I really did think my ears were ringing.
Even noticed
And because like I was like sitting here like hearing this noise, but it's not loud enough in my headset right now, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I didn't know what it was. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, we were both super quiet at that time, and I was like, Jeez.
I can't believe I missed it. I was obviously very focused on whatever I was doing.
We got Sam's alibi video. I don't know.
Oh, not gonna get any bigger. Oh yeah.
There we
it
go.
is. Ooh.
All right.
You know what? Maybe it wasn't Beth that got into a fight with her middle of the day. Maybe it was someone else.
Yeah.
We technically don't know. We just assumed.
I don't think there's any audio.
She looks either happy or frustrated. It looks like she's frustrated, like she can't
She
get
probably
in.
couldn't get into the computer.
Yeah, she probably didn't have the.
No, I didn't ignore that one. The roaches? No, you didn't see her reaction? She was like, oh, no, no.
The sound effect was the absolute worst because they sounded
Yeah.
like they were crawling into my ears. It was just.
Digging around and stuff. Digging around in the drawer.
I just don't understand why it keeps cutting out.
It's motion activated, so if it didn't
Ah.
think she was moving, then technically it wouldn't have recorded. So we're looking at, like, watch the time as well. So it
260
kicks, see how
says
it
2
kicks.
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kicked, yeah. It kicks forward. Wait, you did a second noise?
So
Why did
what-
I not hear that?
So what's the time of it now? Like roughly in the day? Like what's the military time of that, Tony?
21:37. That's 9:37 p.m.
Okay, and Beth died sometime between 9:10 and 10:30.
Yeah.
That makes
So yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah,
she was
definitely
in here
knew
the
it.
whole time. So it was
And
not.
she's
it was
definitely
her.
not wet.
Yeah, it was
So it's
definitely not her.
her.
Let me. You know what? Here, let me do this. Kimberly, hold on. Settings. I found out the reason. Hold on.
Oh, did she fall asleep? Did I miss that? She just said something about she might have fallen asleep while she was in there.
Yeah. So the time now is 21:47. So yeah. So
She said something about she might have fallen asleep. I missed that part if she did.
Yeah. So like if you watch, so she leans back in the chair. 21:37. So she's sitting back in the chair. And then the time will, when it goes black screen, after the black screen's back, it's been like a good 10 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, she did fall asleep in the chair. Cool. Well, it didn't
Looks
give
like
us
maybe
much.
she woke up, maybe she heard somebody or whatever. And
Yeah.
then out.
But she totally left that laptop
before
open.
that?
Someone's gonna know she was in there. She left that laptop straight open. She was in there for a while.
Yeah. 21:18. She was digging around some more. There's black screen. 21:37. So almost 20 minutes later. Back in here again.
But she's definitely not wet.
Yeah. But I mean, in 20 minutes, she wouldn't have had time to
No.
go all the way down to that area, dump the body, and get back in here.
Right.
So,
She's probably snooping around the whole clubhouse. It's like they say they don't let women in there. Let out. Jerks. It's
There you
funny
go.
because all of them
I
have a lot of
refunded
females.
one of those skills for you, Kimberly, since it didn't work very well. Actually, I'll refund both of those horrifying ambient sounds. You can try another one, see if it works.
You would encourage her to try another one.
All right, so
Great job. It works.
Yeah, so she left the folder out as well. Absolutely. Right? Yeah, you should see her Devour jump scares when she played Devour with us.
It's funny because when I hear him getting scared, I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going into
Right.
like that screen.
All right, so that was that one. Let's look at this other
I want to see
video.
the paperwork. Yeah, right.
So this is the bridge proposal.
It was some Beth had written, right, or something. Didn't they say something about Beth's paperwork?
Yeah, she had done a proposal.
Isn't the bridge what collapsed?
I can't remember.
That's okay. Proposal for a new committee.
I will.
The Bridge Revitalization Project, or sorry, Revitalization Special Committee, put forth by Beth Ferris-Hendricks. Oh, bridge revital. So were they going to try to do the bridge that failed already? Weird and slightly confusing. It says something about mission statement.
Yeah, we just can't read that part.
Yeah. That's all we get? Really?
That's all we get.
Oh, that's cold.
Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm zoomed out all the way, so
Really?
that's all we get.
That's a little disappointing.
So yeah, bridge proposal preview. Yep. So
I wonder what bridge proposal.
well, I mean, obviously that bridge that
collapsed, right?
So some kind of bridge revitalization special committee. I don't know.
That's interesting.
I'm guessing.
Why would the Navigators have it? That's really weird. Nothing to do with them talking with the town council and the board.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that's a teaser for another day. Do we have to
looks like there may be something here, but I can't read it right now.
We may have to do like a reverse contrast to be able to see it better. Is there any?
Yeah, well, let me zoom in on it. Let me save image.
Is there anything else from Gwen besides those two things, or is that it?
That was it.
Okay. Well, that one was definitely the trickiest. I'm really glad that the hint helped just enough to point us the right direction. That was funny. Freaking pen hit us in for the night.
Right, I know. Man, that ink pen.
I really felt like that crystal was going to magnify something or do something fantastic besides just being a pointless little item.
Right. So, Chad, unfortunately, so those links to the Sam alibi video, I won't be able to post in the Discord. It's not going to let me save that.
I like that.
Oh, look at that one.
That one's much better than cockroaches.
Right?
Or bears that jump out of the middle of the screen.
Absolutely.
Well, at least we were able to get something done and we didn't waste too much time in the core folder. I feel validated that we don't have enough yet because that was getting frustrating.
Yeah. So, chat. So, again, just a quick synopsis here at the end. So, episode 1. Again, we were tasked with. We found out about Beth's. Was suspected as Beth's murder. The town, police marked it as that. It was an accident and that she fell from a cliff. We proved that was not the case. Episode 2, we were able to prove where her body was dumped from.
The episode 1 was the Vanishing Beach. Episode 2 was the timeline.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So episode 1, we proved where her body was dumped from. Yeah. Episode 2, we narrowed down the timeline of when she was murdered when she was murdered. And then now episode 3, we've ruled out Sam.
Which shocks me because she was like second.
I know, right? Like, and Kimberly, wasn't that like you were like, Kimberly? I feel like Sam was the one you were like dead set.
Well,
right?
she was extremely suspicious.
She
seemed very territorial.
Well, she has all that holistic, medicine stuff, right?
She just really seemed to have it out for Beth, like super jealous of all Beth had.
Yeah.
Like the video acts like she's a friend. They're not really friends. They've been at quote odds for 30 years, per Sam's words herself.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I just makes you like.
Kimberly, no, I know it's Sam. Okay, so as of right now,
totally two places at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Video.
So Sam's been ruled out as a suspect because we have video footage of her in the Navigators Club during the duration of time that we're looking at for the murder. So we ruled out Sam. We got into this Navigators Club, found out we're digging more into that. Beth had some kind of proposal going on for a bridge revitalization project. And yeah, digging a little bit more into it. So, it'll be another 30 days. We've got this submitted. So from today, we should get that package coming in the mail again next month around this time of November. And we'll be able to go on to episode 4. So make sure that, again, one last plug here on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, then that link will be, I'm going to post that in the chat, but then if you're watching this as a after on YouTube, then that link will be below this video, and you can be able to follow that link to the Discord, find the Hunt a Killer channel, catch up on all the stuff for Hunt a Killer for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and join us and pay, in there. We'll tag you for the stuff that's in between the episodes. And also on top of that, then you'll get those notices of when we get that next box for episode 4. You'll know when we're going to be able to plan to stream episode 4. And you can step in and help us solve along with us with episode 4. So with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic night.
Thank you guys for all your help.
Yeah. This one was definitely a good time. This one was a little bit more challenging than what we anticipated. So a really great time. Don't forget, if you haven't followed, liked, subscribed, all that stuff, do all that stuff, right? All right, good time. Thank you everybody for coming out. Until next time, stay safe, stay strange.